Hungry Howie's wants to thank you. Yes, you, how long can I stay on this couch guy? Super dad who prevented birthday disaster. And the late night study group that ordered 17 pizzas. Thank you to the Holy Moly Did You See That fans. And thank you, Whole Slice and One Bite Kid. Because for every pizza sold in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And together we've raised nearly $3 million just by doing what you love. Hungry? Howie's.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
What's up, Michigan? State Champs High School Sports Show is on the air. For nearly 2 decades, State Champs is your home for high school sports. My name is Lauren Plant, and I am super excited to officially welcome my new co-host, Lexi Ayala. Now, Lexi, I know you have already been holding it down, but I want to make it known how happy we are to have you.
Doing my best without you, but we've missed you. I'm glad you're back, so thanks, Lauren. And it is great to be here celebrating the fall sports that don't get the love that they should, right? So State Champs is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Academic and athletic scholarships are available in nearly 24 varsity NAIA sports. Recruit yourself at LTUathletics.com.
Do it. All right, what you're going to see here today is not everything we cover on a weekly basis. I mean, we've got tons of football highlights and more. So if you want to check it all out, you simply have to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or go to our website, statechampsnetwork.com, or download our free streaming app.
We've got an update in both the Hungry Howie's Mr. Football and Anvil Award competition. And this week's DMC Game Changer segment focuses on pulling exercises.
All right, the MHSA Minute is all about Football Selection Sunday. Plus, we're going to take a look at life at Lawrence Tech. But first, let's get to the highlights you can watch on the network right now. We start with the Division II district finale in boys soccer. Clio taking on Flint Kearsley. The Clio Mustangs with a stampede in this one, led by Jordan Wilkerson, who netted 2 goals. Clio shuts out Kearsley 4-0, the final to advance to next week's regionals at Mason.
Now to a district championship in Division I. New Baltimore Anchor Bay matching up with Macomb, Dakota. Anchor Bay won the MAC Red this season and got goals by twin brothers, Carson and Tanner Hodgson. The Tars are moving on as they beat Dakota 2-1.
Harlan! Eagles! Harlan! Eagles! Go Blue!
We're out at the KLAA Cross Country Championship at Huron Meadows on Thursday. The weather trying to stay dry as we start with the girls' race. At the 1.5 mile mark, Plymouth senior Lauren Kelly out front by a couple of seconds with a small pack right behind. Northville's Jenny Line and Salem's Isabel Kulik and Brighton's Katie Carruthers. In the end, it would be the Wildcat from Plymouth finishing first, senior Lauren Kelly posting an 18:06 and wrapping up the podium, Isabel Kulik from Salem with an 18:12, and in third from Northville, Jenny Line with an 18:18 at the line. Northville would take the team championships by 2 points over Brighton.
Spartans! What are we? Spartans! Spartans on me! Spartans on 3! 1, 2, 3, Spartans!
Now over to the boys' race, and the student athlete to be on the lookout in this one is Heartland senior Riley Hogue in yellow wearing number 1 for good reason. At the 1.5 mile mark, Hogue pulls away from the pack, nowhere in sight. This Eagle is just lights out, dominating the competition. Riley Hogue gets the dub, 14:55 as he hits the line. He was so far out in front, it took nearly a minute for Brighton's Quinn Cullen to finish second at 15:48. Third place goes to Luke Nelson of Salem at 15:57. However, Brighton would take the team championship by 21 points over Heartland.
What's up, Michigan? Back at it, although remotely this week for another update in the State Champs Mr. Football race presented by Hungry Howie. Sean Belizean back with another breakdown. Sean, can you even believe we are already in the final week of the regular season?
It's unbelievable. Every year we talk about it, Lauren. The year flies. This one especially. I don't know what it was, but 1 week left, and then we're talking playoffs.
Now, we are nowhere near the end of the Mr. Football race. However, the time for changes is rapidly approaching. I'll give you guys the timeline in just a moment, but first, we do have a change this week. And as many of you know, Grand Rapids Catholic Central quarterback Joey Silveri, he's out for the rest of the season with an injury. And we have heard you out there. Another quarterback having an outstanding season is entering the fray. Sean?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Lauren, the Rockford Rams are absolutely rolling right now, and the driver of that bus is their senior quarterback, Zach Ahern. This kid is putting on a show each and every week. Make no mistake about it. He's doing it with his arms, and he's doing it with his legs. Hey, let's look at last week for an example. He had 3 scores in the air, 2 scores on the ground, including an electrifying 24-yard scamper just before the half. The Rams are 8-0, and they are looking like they might be the team to beat in the tough D1 ranks. Obviously, playoff time will tell, but Rockford Rams, Zach Ahern, we could not ignore you any longer.
All is right in high school football when Rockford's at the top of the leaderboard as one of the teams to beat. Always a powerhouse. Congratulations to Zach Ahern for becoming a Mr. Football candidate, and congratulations to Harperwood's Christian Stokes, who is now the leading vote getter online. Here is how the rest of the race will play out. Next week, final week for any changes, as we will freeze our top 10. You'll then continue to vote for your favorite candidate, and we will select our final 4 the week of the state finals. So that means just before Thanksgiving, leading vote getter will automatically be in. Selection committee will choose the remaining 3 based on the criteria found on the voting page at our website, statechampsnetwork.com. And Sean, it just gets more intense from here.
Yeah, you know what? We say it every year, Lauren, but it's a fluid list, and I'll tell you what, lots of guys are knocking on their door. It's going to be worth watching.
Good luck to all the teams on Selection Sunday. We'll bring you another update next week. State Champs Michigan Extra Point is where high school football fans go to get their news. Premiering Thursdays on the State Champs app and across the network, Extra Point features highlights, analysis, great interviews, and more. Don't forget to listen to the companion audio podcast on Spreaker or wherever you get your podcasts. What's up, Michigan? Coming to you from our places of residence. I'm Lauren Plant, and the man sharing the screen with me is none other than the Hall of Famer, former Canton head coach Tim Beckler. Good to see you, sir.
And you as well.
All right, well, this is another update in the State Champs Anvil Award presented by Hungry Howie's. Unlike Mr. Football, the Anvil Award is looking for the top lineman or linebacker in the state. It is the final week of the regular season, and I'm going to give you the timeline for when we will choose our champion. But first, it's time for another breakdown. Now, we go to the Southeastern Conference Red Division, a very strong division this season, by the way, where we have a future Jayhawk you're talking about this week.
Yeah, James Livingston from Dexter. He's 6'7", 275 pounds, tall. Committed to Kansas. On film, I'll get right to it. Obviously, with his length, great pass blocker, but what I really like about him is he keeps his weight back, he keeps his shoulders back, which is so important not to overextend when pass blocking. Has a good wide base, moves his feet very well. He really wants to hit you, and he wants to put people on their backs. That was kind of shocking to me. They pull him. He works to the second level very well, and he's a dominant run blocker. Very good player.
Now, I just have to say this. I am very disappointed in Dreadnought Nation, as no one has stepped up and voted at all for James. So that needs to change, and it's going to change immediately, all right? Go to our website, statechampsnetwork.com, and cast your vote. Now, next week is the final week for any changes, as we will freeze our top 10. You will then continue to vote for your favorite candidate. We will select our final 4 the week of the state finals. That means just before Thanksgiving. The leading vote getter will automatically be in, and the selection committee will choose the remaining 3 based on the criteria found on the voting page at our website, statechampsnetwork.com. So we still have a long way to go. Good luck to all the teams on Selection Sunday. We'll bring you another update next week.
One of the great football traditions in our state, Selection Sunday, is almost here. And you'll get to see the brackets being revealed live on Bally Sports Detroit. The selection show starts at 5:30 p.m. and will announce first-round matchups for all 8 divisions of 11-player football and the 2 divisions for 8-player football. In 11-player, there will be 8 districts in each of the 8 divisions. First-round games will start on Friday, October the 29th. District champions will face off in regionals on November 12 and 13. Semifinals the week after that, and we wrap it up with our MHSAA finals at Ford Field. All 8 of the 11-player finals will air on Bally Sports Detroit. For our qualifiers in 8-player, 16 teams make it in each division. They too will start on October the 29th. 8-player finals are on November 20th at Northern Michigan University in the Superior Dome. And the Division I 8-player final will be at 11 a.m. with Division II to follow at 2 p.m. As soon as the selection show ends, you'll be able to check out all the brackets right away at MHSAA.com. Please visit us at our website to stay up to date on what should be an exciting football playoff.
Hi, my name is Ryan Alardi, and I'm the new Sports Information Director at Lawrence Tech University. So this is my 4th year in sports information. I think I took a similar route as a lot of my colleagues in the athletic department. I played Division III baseball, I did a little bit of coaching, and then after I got my master's, I got into sports information to stay around the athletic atmosphere and the camaraderie that you get when you work in college athletics.
I think what stood out with Ryan was just a good mesh with our staff. It's kind of that laid-back attitude, but knows his sports information side of everything. I think he was very upfront with us on what his strengths were and his weaknesses, and I think he's just going to fit in really well with our staff. I think that was what really stood out with us.
I'm excited to serve the student athletes here. When you really think about college athletics, these kids are coming for an education, and we wouldn't have jobs in this field if not for them coming to play sports at LTU. So first and foremost, just serving the student athletes and the staff and giving them the best game day experience they can have. And just with how I was treated during the interview process, with Scott being first class and LTU being first class, we want to do that to our opponents as well. We want them to come to a game and walk away and say, hey, LTU did it right, they treated us right, they hosted us right. So we want that student athlete experience for both our student athletes and the visitors that come and compete on our fields.
So I see Ryan kind of shaping the department to be, so it's not overwhelming for any one person. If we have a GA or 2 GAs and a student staff, it's a little bit easier to manage, especially on days that we have 4 or 5 home games on that day, and another 4 or 5 teams on the road, right? So they have to get the stats from that and do the articles. I think he's going to shape the department the way he wants to shape it, the way that we want it to shape, so no one gets burned out from it. Sports information is a high burnout rate. I think he's got the right mentality. He's got a good balance outside of work that's going to help him stay here for hopefully a long time.
Take your future into your hands. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself.
Thank you so much for watching. Lexi, you were awesome.
You were just as awesome, Lauren. Can't wait to do it again next week. From everyone at the State Champs Sports Network, have a great weekend.
Game time, yeah, game time, I'm here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ford Field for the Prep Bowl between the Pilots of Warren de La Salle and U of D Jesuit. The 7-0 Pilots, ranked 4th overall in the state, looking to continue their undefeated season against U of D. Ryan Slocum alongside Coach Richie Pop. And Coach, interesting matchup. These two faced each other just a couple of weeks ago. It was a big win for de La Salle, 44-7. It took us some time before U of D finally got on the board late in the fourth quarter. Some adjustments have been made. What do you expect here today in the rematch?
Well, we talked to the two coaches down there, which is always good to get their perspective. And first starting with coach over at U of D was talking about, hey, we have got to be better at some of the things that we made mistakes on. We have got to be stronger, yet this is a really tough task for us, in all honesty. They're a great football team, great program. They've been for years, and nothing's changed. On the other side, talking to Dan over at De La Salle, he kind of preached the same thing. Hey, our motto is we talk about us and what we do, and what we do well, we want to keep doing, and what we don't, we want to make sure we're better at that the very next day, and that was his goal. Hey, guys, we did some things even in that win that we can't do again. And we want to make sure and right the ship on those. So kind of like mindset there. And again, I do believe it's going to be a tough task for UD. I also believe, you've got Nate Brown at quarterback. They got Mutabi at the receiver position. If they can get some big plays out of them, maybe turn the ball over a couple times, I think that'll be huge in that confidence and maybe give them a chance to be in this ball game.
I think you mentioned it. Coach Rohn said that they made mistakes that maybe they got away with in that game. As we head to the playoffs next week and beyond, those mistakes you cannot make if you're looking to win a state championship. And he said right from the beginning of the year, as you know, Coach, whenever you talk to a team before the season, they always say, oh, we're winning it all this year. You hear it from every kid. Well, at De La Salle, you hear it from the coaches. He said, our goal is to win a state championship every single year. That is a quote. We want to be the best team and the team to beat come November. November is approaching very quick. So, yeah, they got to clean up those mistakes in Division II if they want to make it back here to Ford Field. As they did last year, they came down and came up just short against Mona Shores.
Yeah, it was a heck of a ball game, and they had a heck of a team then, and they've grown since then. And, you look at two sides of the coin. Hey, you don't want to look down the road too far about wins and talk about championships. But the other side of the coin is, wait a minute, that's what we're in this for. You're not in here to win 4 games or 3 games or 7 games or 9 games, or even you don't want to win just 30. You want to be in that 14th game, and you want to win it and bring that trophy. That's the goal, so why not state it? In particular, at a program at De La Salle, that gets a lot of buy-in. They have 90 kids in the roster, and there's a reason for it. The expectation is we're going to win.
Absolutely. They are the 3-time Division II state champions, as you see De La Salle right there in the white jerseys running out onto the field. They've been in the title game 4 times in the past 7 years. They won it in 2014, then back-to-back in 17 and 18. So absolutely, that is the standard at Warren De La Salle, is to win the entire thing. If you're just joining us, thank you very much for being here. We are a little late. That's because there is 2 Prep Bowl games. The first one with the smaller schools, the Cardinal Championship, was a doozy, Coach. Bishop Foley up on Clarkston Everest, 24-7 at the half. This thing ends up tied 37-37 with 2 minutes to play, and that's when Bishop Foley goes on top. Then, how about the guts, Coach? They kick an onside kick up 44-37, and they get it and end up running out the clock to win it. How about it? Just an amazing game, and that's why we are joining you a little bit late here, about 45 minutes past the original kickoff time. But, man, what a game there to start this thing out.
Yeah, unbelievable, just electric, and the great side of Everest is, hey, listen, you're down that many points at half, but let's just, hey, one at a time, and that's what they kept doing. And they end up tying on a 2-point conversion they had to convert. They tie it. Then they block the extra point after they get scored on, so they're thinking get the kickoff down 6. Onside kick, unbelievably perfect execution, right to the outside man, right in his hands on a bounce. You can't do it 5 times in, 500 tries, and it was perfect in game time.
Would you have the guts to call that one?
I'm kicking it deep playing defense, honest to goodness.
Yeah, it takes some guts for that. As we take a look here at the Cubs band, they're about to get this thing started. You talked about 90 guys for De La Salle, Coach. Now the Cubs are in the end zone lined up. De La Salle is down the sideline, and they fill the entire thing up. That is an intimidating look right there.
Absolutely, and they are end to end if you get a look at that. I just tell you, the heart, though, in this Catholic League of all the kids who play and participate, we will see it on display today.
And let's take a listen now to the Cubs marching band and our national anthem. Well, Coach, as we mentioned, these two teams did meet up just 2 weeks ago. 44-7 was the final. Warren De La Salle was the victor in that game. If you're U of D Jesuit, what do you do in this game? What do you change? What do you tell your kids heading into this one?
Well, the first thing to look for is, hey, did we get better during the week at some of the things that they did against us, and can we stop them if we're on defense, and how can we expose them on offense? And then number one that's got to be going through, ball security, ball security, ball. Cannot give away extra possessions. The game is tough enough as is, as many as they're going to get. Make sure we secure the play. If we got to punt, we got to punt, but secure the football. So I am sure ball security is a big topic for them. And then, hey, be right one play at a time. Be right one play at a time, guys. You do your job, and we heard both coaches talk about that. Just what you have to do. So it'll be very exciting to see how they come out, how they attack them when they're on offense, and what they do to stop their potent running game, because that De La Salle line is phenomenal.
Well, you probably don't want to press either, right, Coach? Take it one play at a time. You can't score 12 points on one play. These guys may be thinking that way a little bit because they are playing for their playoff lives maybe as well, sitting at 4-4.
That's exactly right. You know, I believe if they win, they're in. And if not, then they're probably not. I'm not sure how the numbers work out because it's a little different system. But again, like you said, I think it's so important because when you look at the expansion of a whole game in this case, sometimes it becomes overwhelming. 1 6-second play at a time, I am sure, is the message.
We take a look at Gavin Griswack, back deep to receive the kick. The Cubs, there you see them in the maroon from U of D Jesuit. Wearing the white jerseys today are the Pilots of Warren De La Salle, the number 1 ranked team in Division II right now. Number 4 overall in our state champs top 25 rankings put together by the great Matt Mowry. Thank you for doing that, Matt. And here we go with the opening kick in the Prep Bowl. And it will be taken at the 2-yard line. And a huge hole around the left side. Stiff arm and spins his way all the way down to the 37. You're going to be hearing this name a lot. Rhett Roser.
Boy, is he a strong runner. He put that stiff arm out there, and I think we all had little visions of Derrick Henry pushing that man on the ground.
Yeah.
Holy smoke-a-noli. And he hit that edge. He's a big person. He hit that edge pretty doggone well. And there it is again on our replay. That's a good tackle by that young man from U of D.
Absolutely. Jasir Rahman brings him down. Rhett Rozier, just a sophomore. Their quarterback, another guy you're going to be hearing a lot, maybe for the next month, month and a half. There he is right there, Brady Drogosh, the junior. Slings it out on the screen on first play from scrimmage. It is brought in by Alton McCullum.
It's a nice job there. Coach was talking earlier. They did not throw the ball enough in their meeting. They want to get some, throw the ball around, get our guys in space a little bit. It's unlike us to only throw 4 passes. So open up right there, get Brady involved. Nice job.
Yeah, just 4 passes thrown last week against Harper Woods. They come out slinging it. This time, Drogosh keeping it himself. This is what he does, and he is gone. Touchdown, Warren De La Salle, just like that.
Boy, lightning in a bottle, and boy, did that gap open. The O-line, as I mentioned earlier, always does a phenomenal job. When you get runs like that, you also have edge blocking. You see the motion of the receiver inside to seal it. Here come the big fellas around the corner, and then nothing but green and an end zone in front of him, and he finds it often when he's running the rock.
57-yard touchdown, Coach. We didn't even get to talk about this guy yet. He is a dual threat, as you just saw. The kick is up, and the kick is good, so it is 7-0 De La Salle. But yeah, Coach, he didn't give us any time because he goes and scores on the second play from scrimmage. But Brady Drogosh, definitely a kid who's getting tons of D1 interest. He is a junior. He can run it, as you saw, but he can also throw.
Absolutely, and I think that was the intent of the staff, is let's get him involved, get him hands-on. Let's open up with a throw, then a QB run. He's obviously big-time engaged into it. Completion on the first one, and then a 56-7-yard scamper for a touchdown on the second one. So De La Salle starting out on fire, and exactly what the Cubs did not want to have happen on the first series. So they're going to have to come back strong here and get a good drive and try and get some points on the board early.
Yeah, absolutely. When they met 2 weeks ago, they fell behind 28-0 at the half, and it was a lot of the running game that was doing it. The quarterback with 3 total touchdowns in the first half of that game had a touchdown run, a shorter one than that, but he does have this in him. The explosion plays, and they also can get it done through the air explosion plays. This offense absolutely humming right now.
Yep, that's what you want. Timing is everything, right? And here we have, like you said, November is drawing near quite quickly, and that's when you want to be playing your best ball in the state of Michigan, because that's when the playoffs occur.
De La Salle averaging 36 points per game. They only give up 17.5. That is a winning formula. And so far, so good for them. Let's see what the Cubs got. The kick is through the end zone, and that will be a touchback. And they'll begin their drive at the 20-yard line.
So they're going to count a lot on Nate Brown, their leader at QB, to get them back settled in a good mode here. I would look for them, because I know De La Salle strong in their front seven, to try and get especially Mutabi in space a little bit and see if they can't do something with his athleticism. So let's see how they open up.
Yeah. Mutabi normally wears number 1. There you see him at the top of your screen. He's got 23 on today. The big 6'5" receiver. He can do it all. And they begin running it up the gut, but nowhere to go. Maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, and you can see the strength right there. Good job by UD, though, getting some positive yards. You need positive on your first play, and that's what they get here. Get up in there strong. You see he got hit early and still fought forward for a little bit more than a yard. It's going to be tough sledding in there, though, because that front seven is very good, and they work in unison very well.
Absolutely, and that's what you need to do to Nick Johnson, who carried that ball, Coach. Because if he breaks free, you're not going to catch him.
That's 100% correct.
He is a track star, an All-American track star. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Here we go on second down now. 8 to go, and they will sling it. Lots of room out there. Gonna run. Picks up the first down and gets out of bounds at about the 34. Good decision there.
Very good decision. I think we might have a hold, unfortunately here. Saw a tug here on the edge to get Nate around the corner, and I think the side judge caught it. Really good decision. I love that he keeps his eyes downfield, and he says, you know what, I got a lot of green, go get a first down. Unfortunately, I think they're bringing that one back.
Yep, that is the call. Holding back there, Nate Brown. Also getting some D1 interest, has an offer from Butler, has an offer from Coach Brady up there at Saginaw Valley State. So he's also a guy that can do some good things. We talked about Matebe. He's another guy with a Butler offer. Youngstown State as well. They have some talent on this Cubs team.
Absolutely they do. And, we were talking to Coach, and he was, Matt was talking about how the fact that we need to get more involvement, more people buying into the entire, all the off-season work. It's not just about during the in-season stuff, and that's when you develop your team. So that's what he's really working on here at U of D.
Instead of the first down, it is now 2nd and 22. They try to bust it up the gut again. Nothing doing. Brought down at the 7.
And again, even when you watch this replay, you can just see that De La Salle just builds a wall. Hands on by the D-line. Everyone's just playing their gap. It's a monster wall, and nowhere for the running back to go, Nick, in this one. So they stop him there, and it's going to be 3rd and very long.
Yep, not the start that the Cubs were hoping for here at Ford Field. Facing 3rd and very long from inside their own territory. UAD Jesuit hoping for a win here. They did win back in 2019. Looking to do it for the 2nd time in 3 years. Facing 3rd and very long though. 21 to go. They have to get to the 30. Tries to step up in the pocket, absolutely nowhere to go. Brought down by James Milkey III.
And you can see Nate just looking downfield. There was tremendous back end coverage by the defensive backs. Find a receiver and put it at their feet. Try not to take that loss. Unfortunately, that pocket collapses. They got a punt from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, James McDonald, number 44 in there as well. So they get knocked all the way back to their own 5. Back deep to punt is David Ellis, and he is as far back as you can get.
This is one of those situations where you need a good snap because one step back, you're out of the end zone and the safety. He needs just to catch it, get away, and he knows it.
De La Salle coming after him, and they get him. The punt is blocked and recovered for a touchdown. That is Devin Smelter with the touch.
And you can see De La Salle is just not offense, defense. They're always 3 phases of the game, and they know they have them deep in here. Let's go after this thing. Even if they were to rough them, it would be 4th and forever. Really nice job, and lays out, does not, barely even touches the punter, takes it right off his foot. Phenomenal block there.
And that was Xavier Chow kicking it away. The block by William Beasley. And I'll tell you what, he is another awesome kid, going to be playing football at the next level at Princeton.
That's a good place to go. Some phenomenal networking will be going on there for Mr. Beasley.
The kick is up, and it is good. And with 8:05 to play in the first, De La Salle has 14 on the board, and they've only touched the ball once, Coach.
Yeah, that's a tough start on the UD side of the football, but a great start for De La Salle. When your special teams can get you points or set you up in good position, it is always a positive, and that is huge with that recovery in the end zone for 6 points and the tack on of that extra point.
Mr. Beasley, they put him into some goal line situations. He's got a few touchdowns on the offensive side of the field. Picks one up. On defense this time, his primary position at linebacker. 20 tackles last time he was at Ford Field in the state championship game last year when they came up just short against Mona Shores. He had a safety also in the semifinal game, so he's found the end zone a couple times. He knows how to do it there on defense.
Well, and you just love when the big-time players make big plays in the real tough big games, and that's what he did with 20 tackles in a state championship game. I would call that a big game.
So the Pilots kicking it away again. This one goes out of bounds. So you see the flag on the play. A little better field position for the Cubs here as they get the ball back.
Well, that was almost about the perfect kickoff. He was out of bounds by maybe 2 inches because that ball checked right up on about the 5-yard line, and the De La Salle kid was right there as UOD just ran away from it. So fortunately for them, they're going to start out on the 35.
Now, if you're new to the Prep Bowl, well, they have 2 championships, as we told you about. They have the Cardinal Championship game and the Bishop Division Championship game. And that is what you are watching right now here between U of D and Warren De La Salle. As Mr. Brown looking to throw again, he's under pressure. Rolls out, lets it fly. Got a man downfield, but it is not brought in. Sean Smith out there trying to get a mid on it, just out of his reach.
Well, I like the idea here. UD's trying to catch the ball, get rid of it quickly. There's just such great coverage. Nate does a phenomenal job getting out of that pocket. He puts the ball right on his receiver. You're going to see a pull down there. I was a little surprised that wasn't called, to be honest with you. He pulled him right down with the back arm. But some things are missed. You got to play on.
Yeah, Sean Smith was a little surprised as well. He wanted that flag. They're laying on the ground, but he does not get it. And with 7:57 to go now, the clock is stopped. The Cubs trying to draw something up, trying to cut into this deficit. They've found themselves in an early hole, 14-0 after the blocked punt. And we have a flag on the play.
Looks like an O-lineman moved early, I think.
Yep, it will be a false start. So here you go again, Coach. Another penalty, backing you up. When you look like you had something going there on the first drive, they picked up the first down. The hold backed them up. Then it ended up costing them 7 points on the blocked punt. Now they're looking at a 2nd and 15 after the false start.
Yeah, we talked earlier about not, giving them extra possessions or like turnovers, as was the case with the blocked punt and touchdown. And you got to stay penalty free.
On 2nd and 15, Brown going to keep it. He's got tons of room right up the middle. He picks up the first down after a gain of 16.
Boy, really nice concept here. O-line splits out and does a little fan block, so they're blocking out. They create a nice little lane. It looks like a throw. Nate gets up the field. You can see all kinds of field to work with there, and a nice job. Ended up yards after contact to get that first down.
It was Schmelter bringing him down. He was the one that just scored the touchdown a minute ago on the block punt.
Like to see that positivity for UD. That's just going to breed confidence. If they can get a score here, I just know that's going to run through everybody, play tougher defense. Everybody feels it.
First down from midfield. Brown throwing this time. Got a man out there. It's going to be a pickup of just a couple, though. Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, again, I just like getting him out of there quick. He's got an excellent release, puts it right on target, but phenomenal coverage. It's a 2-yard gain. Great job by the linebacker staying with the slot. Usually as an offensive coordinator, you're thinking we win that. That's a great job making a good tackle.
Austin Enochs. And they're just going to give him 1 on that to the 48. 2nd down, 9 to go, with 6:45 to go here in the first. The Cubs getting a little something going with the man in motion. They hand it to him. It is Enochs, but again, not much room to work with, just a gain of another 1 yard.
And I like the jet sweep here. It's another way to get your athlete, trying to get him in space, get the ball in his hand. A little slip there on the turf. Good flow by the defense there. Going to be 3rd down and 8.
So another 3rd and long situation. Quarterback Nate Brown needing to get to that 43 to pick up the first. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. And they look to the sideline. Looks like they're changing the play up or getting the call in now.
Going to get a timeout.
Yep. Little confusion there. Coach not all that happy. He brings his guys to the sideline. We want to let you know that State Champs is located on the campus of Lawrence Technological University. They offer over 20 varsity sports, including football. You can recruit yourself at ltuathletics.com. A little bit more about the Prep Bowl, Coach. We told you about the divisions. This is really a full day. I mean, they started at 8 a.m., Coach, and they had all sorts of people here. CYO championship games, number of them. They honored numerous kids before this game, as you saw as we first came on the air, at halftime of the last game as well. This is really an incredible event, getting all sorts of people from around the area involved.
Well, I think it's a great job of the Catholic League. They've been doing it, I don't know, it's got to be 30, 35, 40 years, where even the young kids, they come and some play exhibition games. They do the CYO championship at the highest level. They get them exposed to what they want to do in high school, so they keep them involved in the Catholic schools. And I think it's a great job of selling each program.
Here we go on 3rd and 8. From the 49, Brown going to throw. Got a man out there. It is brought in. First down and a whole lot more. That's Mutabi all the way down to the 13. What a play. What a pickup for the Cubs.
Yeah, great job here by Nate. Now you've got the speed out. The linebacker runs with him. We saw him make the tackle on him earlier. They run a slant behind it. He's nice and patient. Great job getting through those 2 tackle right there. And then Mutabi getting down just outside the 10-yard line. UAD's in business here. Great play.
Yeah, they needed that one. Absolutely needed that one. A huge pickup all the way down to, they mark it right at the 13.
And you saw he had time on that one. Big difference in having people in his face. Great job, O-line.
The handoff up the gut again, but once again, nothing doing.
I think he pulls this one here, trying to read the end, and then he has 2 guys out there, and that was a tough one because they both looked like they were sinking inside, and they both popped out to that C gap. Good job there, both players, bringing down Nate Brown.
Mason Murrigan right there, and you mentioned it, 2 guys just waiting for him.
Absolutely.
To bring him down. So it'll now be 2nd and 10.
And Nate's saying, Coach, can we do a little something different? I don't want to run into those 2 guys again.
Yep, they are filling the middle very quickly so far in this game. Passing game has worked, as we just saw, and that's what they're going to. Brown lets it fly. Got a man out there. Touchdown, U of D. Mutabi, 14 yards.
Boy, taking advantage of some open space. They're looking at a cover 2 look, which means you have a safety on top of him and a corner. He gets up inside the safety and then breaks it out, you can see, to the open field. Perfectly placed ball. And as I've been saying all season, a hands catch, just imperative for young kids to learn that, not using your body. And that's the reason why. So when it's away from you, you can snag it, bring it in. Huge drive for the Cubs right there. Great job by them.
You took the words out of my mouth, Coach, because I know you absolutely love those hands catches as this kick is up and it is through. So how about that, though? They needed that.
100%.
Just 2 plays from scrimmage for De La Salle, then the block punt. They're up 14-0. U of D could have folded. They were down 44-0 in the last game. They don't fold. They come right back with a huge drive.
Well, and you look at it, that game compared to this game, and it just kind of solidifies what we talk about as coaches all the time. Hey, one game does not beget the outcome of the next. You know, it wasn't until late in the 4th quarter UAD scored last time. Now they've got one here in the 1st quarter after going down 14-0. That has just got to be confidence building 101 right there. And hopefully their defense, and this is their plan, hey guys, make them punt the football, get us back, we're on a roll offensively. Kudos to the O-line, because on those last couple of pass attempts, Nate had a lot of time, was able to set his feet, throw with good balance. Result, touchdown Cubs.
So they will kick it away to that dangerous offense of De La Salle. And that ball is into the end zone. So they will begin their second drive at the 20-yard line. You know, Coach, we mentioned Matabe was their guy. They had to get the ball into his hands, and how about the drive out of him? The big 40-yard pickup, and then obviously the touchdown.
And again, both even on the slant, it was a hands catch up in his face mask where you want it. He brought it in, breaks a couple of tackles, gets all the way down to about the 13-yard line, 14-yard line. Bang, next couple plays, he's in the end zone, 7 points.
The big 6'5" receiver doing work here in the first quarter of the Prep Bowl. Drogosh going to keep it himself again. Still on his feet and brought down around the 25 after a pickup of 5.
Oh, they love this Q power. They're going to look like they're going outside. Little jet action. He pulls it, follows the guard up in there. Nice job here. Okay, young man, just get down. Just get down. Just get down. You don't want to take that hit. You just want to get down, but you know what? You grow up and you learn that pretty quickly.
Yep, the big one from the freshman, Zach Green. Get used to hearing Zach Green's name over the next couple of years. He is a good one. Here comes Drogosh. Going to keep it himself, and he just runs out, but there is a flag at the 25.
Again, though, good decision, you know, but you can see we talked about ball security. Both quarterbacks doing a great job of not letting this ball go late, in particular down the middle. Hey, I'm going to get what I can get. I'm going to make sure that we're staying safe with the football, just run out of bounds here. Not sure if we got a blindside block here by the guard who was pulling out for that bootleg. Going to find out here in a second.
Well, they bring it back 10 yards, back to the 15.
Must have been a hold because where they threw the flag, that's 10 yards from the spot, so must have been a hold.
Yeah, I believe it was on 81. Not positive that's the way it looked there, but nonetheless, 2nd and 15. They're coming after him. Dumps it down. Big pickup here for De Niro Johnson. Gets the first and gets taken out at the 35 after a gain of 20.
Boy, dialed up, perfect offensive call. Throw the screen where the blitz is coming from. Beautiful job, made nice job. De Niro securing the football first, and then just go be a great athlete, young man, and get outside.
He sure
great
did.
Pickup.
Exploded once he turned and took off for 20. So it is 1st and 10 from the 35, 2:50 to play here in the first quarter. Drogosh looks to the sideline. Lets the fellas know what's going on. Seth Gray right there. Oh, and we got a fumble, and I believe the Cubs have it.
Be very interesting what the refs call this. Often the case is that is a little flick and a pass. I believe they say he was going to hand it off. That is a fumble, and Cubs recover. Huge play.
Kasim Gozik, as we take another look, Coach, just trying to flip it, but Drogosh never really had the ball.
100%. You cannot call it a pass ever if he doesn't first possess it and have a nice job or get a good job of possessing that ball in both hands. Instead, it's just a drop and a fumble. Huge play by the Cubs. They're in business inside the 35 positive side.
Kasim Gozik, right place, right time. He dives on it at the 34. Man, the Cubs, you want to talk about back in business. Here we go. First down. They got the reverse, and they're throwing it. Oh, and it is just out of the reach. Sean Smith there trying to throw it back to the QB. Gotta love what they're doing here, though, Coach. They got the momentum. Let's go tie this thing up right now.
This is a great play call. They had 2 defenders out there. You're going to see him right on Nate. He should have just run that football for 10 or 12 yards. Again, it's tough because you practice it all week and you throw it all week and nobody's there, I promise you. But De La Salle so disciplined in what they do, and they happen to be there. Good job.
Absolutely. And they look like they are going to go up-tempo here. That's what the coach, we are told, preaching on the sideline. Let's get moving. Let's make something happen. They are doing that so far. Here on 2nd and 10 now. They hand it off. It is Johnson, but again, trying to go up the middle, and there's no room to go.
Absolutely not. Again, sound gap defense, meaning each defender is just owning their gap and they're staying home where they're supposed to stay. They close outside in, run them into the guys who are running inside out. It's like a vice, and that's what you want to do with the linebackers and D-line. Setting up 3rd and 9. Need a big play here from U of D.
That once again was the senior, number 18, Schmelter, getting in there, making things happen for his team.
I believe that they're going to call this 2-down territory. And I also believe they might end up taking a timeout here unless they can hustle this one in.
Yep, they're taking their time.
Sometimes you want to run up tempo, but you'd rather take the time to get a right play instead of running tempo, and I think that's the case here.
So here we go, 3rd and long once again for the Cubs. And we have a pre-snap whistle.
Delay a game on that one. That's a tough one. Nate's got to take a look at that back dodge counting.
We also want to thank our good friends at Hungry Howie's for all the work they have done fighting breast cancer through their Love, Hope, and Pizza campaign. All October long, every pizza sold in the pink box sees Hungry Howie's make a contribution to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Thanks to Hungry Howie's. Always look forward to that every year, the pink box campaign.
And you see them everywhere. I mean, you
Absolutely.
go to every school. You visit someone's house, and there's one, in the recycle bin or in the trash. It's a great job. People, really supporting that program. It's a great cause.
Here we go on 3rd and long. And it is going to be picked off. Excellent play there. Going up and getting it. Guess who it was, Coach? Will Beasley.
Absolutely in the right spot at the right time. You can see he flows outside into the flat. He checks that hook curl area where the outside receiver might come. The number 2 runs out, so he kind of settles. Nate can't see him. He's right where he's supposed to be. And, of course, what an athletic play off the ground. Boy, Mr. Beasley, you can see why they're really high on him. And, hey, he's a 2-time All-State player, and you notice why.
And it's unfortunate for De La Salle, too. He had to go up and get it, so he didn't get a clean grab. But if he would have been able to, man, he had some open field in front of him. Yeah. Instead, here comes Mr. Drogosh and the offense for the Pilots. Little run there by Rhett Roser, and he is brought down after a gain of about 3.
So often is the case when you're a football team that runs well, this is your friend. A couple things have not gone your way. You had a turnover, you gave up a score. Let's go to the run game, get some positivity, gain a couple. Let's see what they're going to do here on about 2nd and 7.
45 seconds to go. Hand it off again, but once again he is met with minimal gain. Brought down by Xavier Banks.
Excellent job sliding down here into that gap. You can see the O-line is moving that way. He slides right down. Great play there. Excellent tackle, setting up 3rd and 5. Need a stop here out of UD, and De La Salle saying, hey, we need to get this rolling, get a 1st down.
If the Cubs looking to get a little of that momentum back. Roser in the backfield, and they hand it off. It is Alton McCullum, but again, nothing doing. Only a gain of 1. And the Pilots will have to kick it away.
Boy, Patrick McVeigh comes off this block and does a great job bringing him down to the ground and setting up where De La Salle is going to have to punt here. Phenomenal.
So at the end of the 1st, here at the Prep Bowl, we got a good one so far. The Pilots of De La Salle leading U of D Jesuit 7-0. We'll be right back after this.
Hungry Howie's wants to thank you. Yes, you, how long can I stay on this couch guy? Super dad who prevented birthday disaster. And the late night study group that ordered 17 pizzas. Thank you to the Holy Moly Did You See That fans. And thank you, Whole Slice and One Bite Kid. Because for every pizza sold in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And together we've raised nearly $3 million just by doing what you love. Hungry? Howie's.
We view technology a little differently at Lawrence Tech's College of Architecture and Design. We believe it makes lives better, more beautiful, that it enables people to connect, and empowers them to create. We see technology as a reflection of people at their best, and that it should be designed to make us more human, not less. Come redefine technology with us at LTU's College of Architecture and Design.
Welcome back for the second quarter here at the Prep Bowl. Warren De La Salle leading UD Jesuit. It's 14-7, facing fourth down. Quarterback keeps it himself, and again, he is brought down. Great defensive stand by the Cubs, and Coach, how about the decision to go for it on fourth in your own territory?
Well, that's one thing. I like the confidence that's coming out of UOD. They have ripped this off for a 57-yard touchdown already and a couple of big runs, and here they are stopping that up. De La Salle has a phenomenal punter and a phenomenal defense. I'm very surprised, quite frankly, that on that side of your 50-yard line, and I don't mean like right on that side, you're at the 37-yard line going for it. Hopefully on the UOD side, they can make something positive happen, and De La Salle's looking to shut them down.
Well, that you said they were confident in their defense. Well, here you go. They must be. Passes dropped off, hit immediately, though. How about that hit out there by big 5'3", Jesuit?
Boy, he does a great job playing off this block, because if they solidify this block, he is still running. I just know that O-lineman's going to be, I should have held that just a little bit longer. He comes off of it. Very nice tackle. 2nd down and 8.
And I tell you, they're doing a great job so far on Nick Johnson, the speedy junior. We told you a little earlier, he is a track and field All-American. He was part of the 4th fastest 4x200 relay team in the country at the Nike Nationals out in Oregon. Again, you don't want to let that guy get free. Here they come after him on 2nd down, and his pass is going to be picked off. Again, how about Schmelter making plays all over the field, but this one because Brown got nailed as he threw it.
Yes, he did, and that ball ended up sailing on him. He's got the slant again. He knows it. It's right there. It just gets up over his head. Great catch by Schmelter. I believe we're going to have a hold here. But it is 1st and 10 for the Pilots. Excellent defense. And again, guys in the right spots, hand up, making great plays, and that's what happens.
So we've had a couple of turnovers so far here today, Coach. And as you know, obviously turnover is always a huge factor in every game. But that was one of the points you made right off the top. Cubs can't make mistakes. They made a couple of them so far. The blocked punt in the end zone. Now another interception when they have the ball on the other side of the field.
Yeah, it's tough enough this game when they get their 8 or 10 possessions. You give them extra ones, it makes it extra difficult.
So we get the end around coming. Is number 7. That's Alton McCullum once again. And he is going to be taken out about the 23.
And if this does not pop on that first cut, this is exactly what you want. You just keep kind of running, and everything continues moving forward. You look up, it's 2nd and 2. What a perfect position to be in for an OC.
Well, Coach, you mentioned they went for it on 4th down because they were confident in their defense. Defense came up and made a play there to get the ball back for De La Salle, who, as you mentioned, 2nd and 2. Looks like we're going to get a halfback pass. Yes, we do. All alone out there. Deuces. It's Janacek living up to his number. Touchdown. Warren De La Salle. Another explosion play.
Boy, and that is so tough to decipher as a corner because that big-time running back is coming out at you. You know he's running, but watch how he's carrying the ball. He's going to pass this thing 100%. But the corner comes up anyway. Janacek gets behind him, and then watch him pull away. Just phenomenal effort, great speed, and like you said, another explosion play. So excuse me questioning the go for it on 4th down. We're going to flip that around with a pick and a quick 6.
Yeah, I think that worked out pretty well, and it was Rhett Rozier on the pass, dropped it right in the bread basket for Janacek, and he was out of here.
I think Mr. Rozier's going, hey, Brady, I can do that too, partner. So, you better catch up. I got more touchdown passes than you this game.
Incredible play there. Just like that, after your offense stalled out, on 4th down. You threw an interception the pass before that. They turned around and went, wait a minute. We're De La Salle. We're the number 4 team in the state right now. They remembered who they were.
Yep, they need another big play, and sure enough, they got it, and off the run. Again, I really love the use of the run there. Given the ball like an outside zone, he just throws it out there, little lollipop about 20 yards down the field, and then Janacek does the rest. 21-7. The Pilots are up on the Cubs. Going to kick the ball off here, and so far their kicker's done exactly what you want. Hey, you make a team in high school go 80 yards every drive. It is not a simple task.
No question. He has parked it into the end zone a couple of times today. And he's looking to do it one more time. Cody Cummings, the big fella, going to boot it away here at Ford Field.
So UD has to settle back in, do what they do. You'll notice the last interception, Nate had someone right in his face, and that always causes things that don't go well. They need to keep him off him because I think the passing game is the way they're going to open up some scores for themselves.
This one is caught right at the goal line, but it looks like a foot went into the end zone by Austin Enoch, so it'll move back out to the 20. Mr. Enoch wanted to run that one.
Absolutely, and he had a nice-looking blocking wall set up there. Love to have that one back and not take that step back. But in high school, you get the ball in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback.
Well, you can be a referee. In fact, we need you to get out there and be a ref now more than ever. Nationally, there is a shortage of people who are willing to work these kids' games, and they are just kids' games. So if you love sports, you love the kids, why don't you get out there and register at MHSAA.com. Here come the Cubs on 1st down. Quarterback going to keep it himself, but he has got nowhere to go. Brought down Mason Murrigan right there, and he had some help.
And again, that's the second time where they're looking to pull this ball, influence with the running back, pull the ball. He does make the right read as the end comes down. You can see Murrigan running flat, but right there is that defender to hold that edge and cause that for a 0 gain. Really good, sound, disciplined defense there.
Schmelter getting his name called again as well. He was there to help out on that tackle as we have just over 9:30 to play here in the first half. The Pilots with the quick and big strikes so far in this one as they take the 21-7 lead. Cubs trying to make it a one-score game once again. Brown dumps it off. Got some room out there on the edge. Nice tackle as he is brought down. That's about as much room as Johnson has had today.
Yeah, very good play design here. You're going to influence again with the motion. Just run him out in the flat, get his great speed out there. You can see the closing job by the defense and a sure tackle. But I like the design of getting your speedy guy out in some space, see what can happen. Played well on the defense.
Brennan Holman with a nice tackle there. I believe his friends call him Nighthawk. Mr. Brennan.
So hawking that ball down right there. It's a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So it brings up a 3rd and 5 now from the 25. 8:30 to play. Nate Brown takes the snap. They're coming after him, and they got him. Sacked back at the 20 and brought down by number 88, Mason Murrigan.
Well, he's having a heck of a game. He's running down the QB on the keep. He's coming up the middle on a sack. The quick blitz from the outside forces Nate to step up, and Murrigan is right there. Tough one. Your quarterback, you look out, the first thing you see is a blitzing guy coming from the outside. You got to try and push up. That's a heavy task right there.
And he had some friends right there pretty quickly as well. Once again, the closing speed coach is really a difference maker for De La Salle.
Oh, absolutely. They're on everything. They're doing a great job. You mentioned the hawk. They like to hawk that ball down, and that's what they're doing right there. They're hawking everybody right now.
Xavier Chow gets this one away, and how about that? Beautiful punt all the way back to the 30-yard line where it is brought in. Still on his feet, though. And look at this. Plenty of room to run down the sideline. Picks up a block. Cuts back inside. Still on his feet. Incredible run by Sharon Sutton. Wow.
Boy, I'll tell you what, explosive play after explosive play. He hammers that punt. One chance to make a tackle, and if you don't make it, and this is what can happen, De La Salle doing a great job, no blocking back at players. Good job there, it's just hitting with his hands and not blocking with his body and lunging at him, and what an effort here. Great job setting him up inside 1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
Man, you want to talk about flipping the field. The Cubs thought they were going to, and they brought it right back to around the same spot where he kicked it from.
Yeah, that became a flip and then a flop, and they're inside 1st and goal.
1st and goal now from the 8. Brady looking to the sideline. He's got the big man Seth Ray next to him, and that's where they're going to Seth. He had it. Would have been 6, but in and out of the hands.
Boy, nice play design again, using that. Going to bring the slant on the inside and get the back on the outside. You influence the corner. He steps out. He gets it right over his hands. Little bit of a tip right there. Yeah. And I believe that caused, like you just pointed out, and it's a drop.
Absolutely. Great job by our replay man, Kevin Trzynski, slowing that sucker down, letting us know that ball was tipped. Great play. And it will be 2nd and goal now. De Niro Johnson in the backfield.
He had an explosive play earlier on that screen pass.
He sure did. 20-yard pickup, and they go to him. No, they don't. Drogosh pulls it. He gets down to the 6.
Boy, nice job. They sure like using that Q run. You always get an extra blocker. You can see the H-back is going to come and fold up inside to be the lead blocker here. Nice job right there. Excellent job of tackling from behind there. You got number 28 popping in there, Ellis Folks. Great job bringing him down because he had clear sailing for another touchdown.
Well, you saw in the second play of the game that Brady can run the ball. And he went, how about, for 220 and 5 touchdowns last week against Harper Woods. Went for $174 against River Rouge this season.
And by the way, both those teams, they got kids who can run, so.
Here comes Drogosh, going to throw it this time, but he throws it right into traffic, and it is picked off in the end zone. We'll see what they call this. Yes, they do say he was down. Nonetheless, an interception by the Cubs. Let's take another look at it.
Boy, he throws this one really, really late. He's going to want it back. He's done such a good job of taking care of the ball. Throws it really late and gives the defense in time. Step right in front. Excellent play. UAD absolutely had to have that one. Good job stepping in front.
David Ellis with the interception in the end zone, and he brings it out. Well, they've got him set up here where? At about the 14, Coach. So I don't know if he stepped out of bounds right there.
I think he got brought down and that ball ended up popping out, but it was after he was on his back.
So the Cubs will take over after De La Salle was on the doorstep. Two backs in the backfield now, but nothing doing. Brought down at the 15.
You know, I know people sometimes get frustrated. Why do you keep running like that? You have to keep that going. You can't just abandon it. You have to keep it. You got to pop one of these sooner or later. De La Salle's just so strong up front. They're handling up the front seven very, very well, playing in unison. It's tough for the Cub O-line to keep them out, but you got to stick with it because you can't just abandon it.
So it will be 2nd and long once again. Pickup of about a yard on 1st down. Again, with two backs this time. Brown keeps it, nowhere to go. Brought down immediately. Once again, big number 88, Double M Mason.
Boy, they are just coming off this edge. This is kind of a run blitz, expecting a run. They come off the edge. You can see him in there late, but what that causes is O-line to be out of position. And he slides down and makes another play. He's having one heck of a game today.
Yeah, numerous guys out there having heck of a game. We've been naming the same guys over and over again. Well, that's why they are first team all league. And some of these guys, as you mentioned with Mr. Beasley, first team all state.
Absolutely, and they play well together. No one's out there being selfish. They're doing what they're supposed to do, and because of that, they're ended up being rewarded because they make plays when it's their opportunity, and obviously they've been making them an awful lot.
3rd and 10, deep in their own territory. 3 receivers to the top of your screen for Nate Brown. And we are going to get a timeout, I believe, for the Cubs once again. Well, we have 4:37 to go before the half, but coming up at halftime, we will highlight the top 3 games that state champs covered Friday night. We'll also give you an update on our Mr. Football and our Anvil Award races. We will have that and much more coming up right here on Game Time Live. If you're not familiar with the Mr. Football races, well, that one's pretty self-explanatory. Mr. Football goes to the best football player in the state. Also, the Anvil Award. That one goes to the top lineman or linebacker in the state. And if you see your names, which we will see here in just a few minutes, my gosh, Coach, we got some awesome names, awesome kids from all around the state of Michigan, and you can vote for your favorite player by going to statechampsnetwork.com. You decide the vote. The guy you vote for cannot be taken off the list, so get out there and vote. Coach, some awesome kids, man.
And going all over the place in the country. It's just awesome to see that list and where kids are going. I just love that.
Here we go on 3rd. Brown slings it out there to Matebe. He brings it in, and that is going to be a 1st down. So once again, they go to Matebe on 3rd, and he comes through.
Well, I love this play because it's an outside throw versus all the time they've been trying to go on the inside. Really great timing. He was nowhere near out of that break quite yet. But the ball has to travel 40, 45 yards when you're throwing it from the middle of the field, well outside the numbers to the sideline. Great job by Nate and Matebe getting his head around. 1st down, UOD absolutely had to have that.
So they have new life here at the 26-yard line. 3rd catch of the day for Matebe. Having a giant game so far. He's going to need to continue it. This time, they hand it off on the sweep. It is Enoch's. But nowhere to go again, brought down after a gain of 2.
And this looks like it's going to be such a wide open play, but what you see is the outside defender setting that edge, so he cuts up, and then the inside defender, so they have that vice. You got Beasley running out, you got the safety coming downhill, you can see Deontay Dandridge coming downhill and making that play, but it's because he's forced inside by the outside edge player again. Discipline on defense is absolutely vital, in particular if you're planning on winning football games.
Cubs down 14. The clock is moving. 3:45 to play before they head back to the locker room. 2nd and 8. Need to get to the 41. Brown will sling it, and he's slinging it a long way down the sideline into double coverage, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
And you can see Mutebe's going to try and get up inside the corner here. The ball was actually thrown a little further, I believe, than he thought it was. Nate really gets one here, rips it, and you can see the defensive back ends up being in a better position to catch it because he's beyond Mutebe there. Waited a little bit early on that inside move to catch the ball.
And they got tangled up a little bit there as well. No flags on the play. So once again, the Cubs facing 3rd and long, but so far, Coach, so good on 3rd and long.
Absolutely. That last play indicative of that big time where they had that nice outside throw. They need this one here again. Even if you end up getting a couple more and you maybe don't score, of course, you'd love to score before half, but the objective here is to make sure you don't give De La Salle the football in positive territory.
That's right. As we've seen, it only takes one play, and they can take it the entire distance. 3:34 before the half. On 3rd, Brown going to the sideline. Got a man out there, but overshoots him, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, they ran that stop route again. He's trying to hit that back shoulder as he did to Mutebe earlier. Just a little bit high on this one. It's a long throw. Tough, excellent effort there. Number 7 gets off that ground. Sean Smith, the best he can, just a little bit too high.
Yeah, Sean Smith just didn't get the hands closed in time.
You can see the coach is talking. You got to go just a little deeper, and that ball's not so high. I can hear it right now.
So the Cubs will kick it away for the third time. Little more room this time for Mr. Chow. He booted one the last kick. Great punt and a great return. Back inside the 10. This one a little bit lower, but it is effective. Taking a Cubs roll inside the 30-yard line.
I think that was very much by design, so Mr. Sutton did not get that football in his hands and run back like he did last time. So very good implementing a little bit of a shorter pooch punt, so to speak, but he got a nice little roll. And again, getting them back to their 26-yard line is much better than being in positive territory.
And Coach, you mentioned the Prep Bowl. They've been going about 30, 35 years. How about 50 years of the Prep Bowl? 1971. And it's had other names throughout the time, the Soup Bowl, things like that. But it's been the Prep Bowl since 1971. Awesome, awesome tradition here in the Catholic League.
See, that's what our team does. I throw out some information and you give the actual facts. I love it. Thank you. Perfect.
Absolutely. Here we go. Drogosh keeping it himself. Nowhere to go. Brought down darn near immediately. He's going to have it at the 25.
Nice job here. Great discipline. 65. Michaelin Bradshaw does a great job staying home, not running outside. He knows his defensive partner's outside of him. He'll take it if they give the football. They did not. Consequently, loss of yards on that play, setting up now 2nd and 11.
Brady gonna throw. A quick hitter, and how about this? Lots of room once again after the missed tackle. It is Tristan Nichols across the 50 down to the 33-yard line. Another explosion play from the Pilots.
And you just love this. You throw the ball about 7 yards down the field, maybe even 6, and bang, it ends up being a plus 30-yard play because you get a great athlete who's running hard. Got to make tackles the first time because those yards after contact absolutely kill you.
Yeah, and it cost them maybe 10 on that play. Here we go on first. It's handed off. We have a flag, but here comes big 34 rumbling his way is double R Rhett Rozier.
I believe we have the motion man move towards the line of scrimmage a little bit early. It's going to be 5 yards on the Pilot. We got a little information about Rozier. You know, he really brings the heat in baseball.
Yeah?
Big time. So he's going to be a little upset about that throw he made earlier, other than it was an 80-yard touchdown pass.
I don't know. It looked good to me, Coach. It got him 6.
That's true.
It got him 6. I think he'll be all right. Might not like this, though. After a nice pickup, the purple and gold going to move back just a hair to right in between that 38 and 39-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 15 now, with 2 minutes to play, under 2 actually, as that clock is still moving.
UOD needs to hold them here to a no-score situation.
Drogosh keeps it up the middle. Plenty of room, gets near that first down line. Gonna be about 2 yards short, but a great pickup of 13.
Well, and thank goodness Mr. Ellis makes this shoestring tackle, because if he doesn't, I think he's still running in 6 more points. So nice job coming from the outside in. Good job, Mr. Ellis, bringing him down. But again, great scheme. You get that extra blocker or influence with the running back, and the quarterback keeps that ball up on a power move.
2nd down and a short 3 to go. Brady gonna throw. Now he's gonna keep it. He is brought down, but he is pulled forward, and I think he's gonna get that first down. Depends on exactly where the mark is at.
It looks like they're marking him slightly short on a 3rd down and short here. Again, though, hey, we are on the plus side. We're in scoring territory. Take care of that football. Good job by Brady to decide to run and get positive yards, setting up 3rd and short.
Got to move quick. Clock's still moving. They do have timeouts. Brady keeps it. Got the first and a whole lot more. Still on his feet. Touchdown. De La Salle, 29 yards. Brady, Drogosh.
And again, the interior line doing a phenomenal job, working up the field, everyone getting on their blocks, the running back involved, and when there's big runs, as you can see out there, Number 25 earlier had a nice play on a little hitch route, Tristan Nichols. He does a great job blocking on the outside and gets Brady in the end zone. 27-7, De La Salle.
So we wait here for the extra point. With 37 ticks on the clock, the kick is up, it is through, and make it a 3-score game. Purple and gold now up 28-7 over the Cubs. And Coach, I was sitting there going, they got 3 timeouts. They're letting this sucker go. Well, they knew what they were doing. When you got a kid like that, they can house the ball in a split second. You don't use your timeout. You just let it roll.
You know, I don't know what we're doing up here. I question the going for it on 4th down. They flip it around and get an 80-yard throw from their running back. We're thinking, hey, what do you know, hustle along here, gets going. Oh, no. We're just going to score on both those opportunities, guys. We do know what we're doing. And you know what? They do. They've got a phenomenal staff. They've got kids who are paying attention. They're disciplined in what they do. And you can see it every time they play football.
Well, Coach, if you're the Cubs, you've played a pretty decent half of football with the exception of a couple of turnovers in there. But you still find yourself down 21 points because of these large plays. What are you thinking as you're heading into the locker room?
Well, again, you can't dwell on something that you can't control, which is the past, right? So what they're going to do is they're going to go to the locker room, they're going to address, hey, listen, we talked about it early, ball security. We cannot give them extra possessions. Hey, we have, but we can't change that now. So we got to come out here and come out strong. And on the other side of the ball, stay home. When U of D has stayed home, they've made plays on that power. When they've not, they've had big run plays against them.
Once again, the boot goes into the end zone. So the Cubs will have 36 seconds to try to make something happen from their own 20-yard line. They have moved the ball, but they have interceptions, 2 of them on the day so far for Mr. Brown. The blocked punt in the end zone cost him 6 early. And that's where we sit here at a 28-7 ball game.
In the offensive side of the ball, you know, they thwart them on a 4th down. They get them a stop on the 40. Hey, less than half a field, let's get some positivity. Didn't happen. On the other side, they get the turnover inside for positive territory. Didn't happen. They've got to make some things happen when they turn the ball over.
Hand off to Johnson. The ball is stripped away. We'll see if he was down or there was a whistle for forward progress. There was not. That is a fumble, and it is picked up by, I believe, Will Beasley once again.
Unbelievable that he is around the football at all times. Nice looking play right there. They're going to hold him up. If you're the second guy in, just pull at that ball, pull at that ball. There it is. Great recovery right there. At the end of that, you didn't see it because the refs were looking at each other, and then finally the line judge threw his beanbag, which indicates fumble, and De La Salle is now set up. Again, way inside Cub territory and trying to tack one more on here with 24 seconds, and they saved their timeout.
And they
just this time.
They know what they're doing. I am done second-guessing today. Not that I actually was, but my gosh, the Pilots looking to put another one in. There's plenty of blocking out there, and there is plenty of room down inside the 5-yard line for Tristan Nichols.
Boy, beautiful tunnel screen here. Get a lot of blocking. The outside receiver, they call him a number 1 because he's the first guy in the far outside. He comes towards the quarterback, and he's going to stay behind several blockers. It's going to often be some linemen, little fake run there. Bring him inside, put the ball on his face mask, and just let him be great. Look at all that blocking on the outside, and then he's just going to get up the field. Good job. They are 1st and goal inside the 5.
So as we mentioned, they had 3 timeouts. They used one here. 4 yards to go, and they have 15 seconds to do it. Plenty of time here to make this a 4-possession game heading into the locker room.
Yeah, anytime you've got those timeouts, you know, you can stretch 15 seconds down. They're still going to get their 3 plays here. You know, you run a play, you can still run or pass here. No problem. Call timeout if you run and get caught short. You're at maybe 10 seconds or so. You still got plenty of time.
That's a great point. They can run. And they're going to call this one. There comes the flag. The referee was halfway out before he finally threw the flag.
Well, you know, he's on that opposite side. I think he was not even kidding, waiting for his buddy to call it.
Right.
Maybe he didn't see it, so he said, you know, he was clearly in the neutral zone. I've got to call it.
Well, Coach, you talked about you can run or pass here. Now they get an extra couple yards. They're at the 2. You absolutely can. If you get stopped, you're only going 1 yard. So
right.
You call the timeout. Let's see what they do. They are throwing it. And this one a little behind the receiver this time. The pass there by Brady.
Yeah, I like it. They've got some space. He just throws the ball behind. You can see he's got the opening. He just puts it back shoulder instead of getting him in front. He'll learn from that. You know, as you mentioned, he's only a junior, so he's continuing to learn, and he's already got a great foundation, as you can see, making good decisions early. Maybe a little power run here. Let's see what they go with.
12 seconds still to go. Yeah, if you're the rest of the Catholic League and you see that guy's a junior and you see that Roser's a sophomore, you might be sweating a little bit.
Absolutely. But, boy, you're thankful. Maybe Mr. Beasley's going to move on to someplace else.
There you go, Coach. Once again, touchdown, De La Salle. I'll tell you what, Brady just walked that one in.
Absolutely. No one on the edge here. A lot of blocking outside. You can see a great hook block. Holy smokes, number 79. Caden Featherstone gets the outside shoulder of that end, and there is nobody out there to defend him with lead blockers in front. Again, great design, but as you know, coaches know, it means nothing until it's executed by your players, and that was excellent execution.
Yeah, and he actually hesitated a little bit when he grabbed it, and then he sees he has all day over there toward the pylon. The kick is up, and it is good once again, just like that. After the fumble, UD Jesuit, another turnover cost them, Coach. They are now down 35-7.
You know, sometimes you just hate being right, but those turnovers are they're troublesome. And when you give a really good football team more opportunities on the offensive side of the ball, it is really tough to gain success. And again, that said, they're going to go in at half, and they're going to say, look, we just need to make something positive happen one play at a time. And I know you'll say it again and again and again, but it's the truth, because if you do it once and again, you experience that success, your confidence grows, and you become a better team. We'll see what happens when they come out of the break. We're going to get kicked off here first, though.
Well, with 36 seconds left in the half, we were saying that the Cubs needed a stop right there. They didn't get one, and now they got another touchdown tacked on top of them to make this a 28-point game.
Yeah, and don't forget, you know, it was a simple 40 seconds to go. They were going to run the clock out, I'm sure, with a couple of runs. They get the ball stripped, give up 6, and it's a really, really, really uphill battle from here for the Cubs.
Well, Coach, and a lot of fans and parents and whoever, no matter if you're watching the Detroit Lions, the LA Rams, or these two teams right here, you'll wonder sometimes when they take a knee with 36 seconds to go sometimes, or 10 or whatever it is, they take a knee and just head to the locker room. That right there is exactly why they do it.
Absolutely, 100% true. Even at the NFL level, you know, if you remember, the Giants had that fumble and they ended up losing the game because they wanted the run play back in the 70s. You just take a knee, the clock runs out, you go regroup. Yep, you're down 28-7, but when something negative happens, it's on that side of the ball. They're obviously going to employ that here now and take a knee and go in and regroup at half.
So that will be the final play of the half here in the Bishop Division Championship game in the Catholic League Prep Bowl. The top-ranked team in Division II in the entire state of Michigan is leading the way. The Pilots of De La Salle up 35-7 over UD Jesuit at the half. Right now, let's take a look at some highlights from last night's action from across the state. We'll see you for the third quarter right here on the State Champs Sports Network.
Hungry Howie's wants to thank you. Yes, you, how long can I stay on this couch guy? Super dad who prevented birthday disaster. And the late night study group that ordered 17 pizzas. Thank you to the Holy Moly Did You See That fans. And thank you, Whole Slice and One Bite Kid. Because for every pizza sold in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And together we've raised nearly $3 million just by doing what you love. Hungry? Howie's.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
One of the great football traditions in our state, Selection Sunday, is almost here. And you'll get to see the brackets being revealed live on Bally Sports Detroit. The selection show starts at 5:30 p.m. and will announce first-round matchups for all 8 divisions of 11-player football and the 2 divisions for 8-player football. In 11-player, there will be 8 districts in each of the 8 divisions. First-round games will start on Friday, October the 29th. District champions will face off in regionals on November 12 and 13. Semifinals the week after that, and we wrap it up with our MHSAA finals at Ford Field. All 8 of the 11-player finals will air on Bally Sports Detroit. For our qualifiers in 8-player, 16 teams make it in each division. They too will start on October the 29th. 8-player finals are on November 20th at Northern Michigan University in the Superior Dome. And the Division I 8-player final will be at 11 a.m. with Division II to follow at 2 p.m. As soon as the selection show ends, you'll be able to check out all the brackets right away at MHSAA.com. Please visit us at our website to stay up to date on what should be an exciting football playoff.
Let's go, let's go, lead him out, let's go, run him out, let's go. Let's go! Let's go, right? Yeah! Make sure you give it all on the field tonight. No regrets today, all right? Hey, Ashton, where you at? What time is it?
Game time, baby.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! Like that. Stop playing with us. Stop playing with us. Let's go! Game time! Game time! Game time! Game time! Good job! Yes, sir! Good job! Game time! Yeah!
Well, when I went out there, I felt like I can't miss this because I knew if I missed, it would have gone into overtime, and that would have been a bad thing because they had all the momentum. And then, right as I kicked it, I kind of felt like that was going in. It started going right in the beginning, so I was like, please go in, and then it started curving left rather. I was excited. I ran around the field. It was a great time. I'm happy I made it.
What's up, Michigan? Back at it, although remotely this week for another update in the state champs Mr. Football race presented by Hungry Howie. Sean Belizean back with another breakdown. Sean, can you even believe we are already in the final week of the regular season?
It's unbelievable. Every year we talk about it, Lauren. The year flies. This one especially. I don't know what it was, but 1 week left, and then we're talking playoffs.
Now, we are nowhere near the end of the Mr. Football race. However, the time for changes is rapidly approaching. I'll give you guys the timeline in just a moment, but first, we do have a change this week. And as many of you know, Grand Rapids Catholic Central quarterback Joey Silveri, he's out for the rest of the season with an injury. And we have heard you out there. Another quarterback having an outstanding season is entering the fray. Sean?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Lauren, the Rockford Rams are absolutely rolling right now, and the driver of that bus is their senior quarterback, Zach Ahern. This kid is putting on a show each and every week. Make no mistake about it. He's doing it with his arms, and he's doing it with his legs. Hey, let's look at last week for an example. He had 3 scores in the air, 2 scores on the ground, including an electrifying 24-yard scamper just before the half. The Rams are 8-0, and they are looking like they might be the team to beat in the tough D1 ranks. Obviously, playoff time will tell, but Rockford Rams, Zach Ahern, we could not ignore you any longer.
All is right in high school football when Rockford's at the top of the leaderboard as one of the teams to beat. Always a powerhouse. Congratulations to Zach Ahern for becoming a Mr. Football candidate, and congratulations to Harperwood's Christian Stokes, who is now the leading vote getter online. Here is how the rest of the race will play out. Next week, final week for any changes, as we will freeze our top 10. You'll then continue to vote for your favorite candidate, and we will select our final four the week of the state finals. So that means just before Thanksgiving, leading vote getter will automatically be in. Selection committee will choose the remaining three based on the criteria found on the voting page at our website, statechampsnetwork.com. And Sean, it just gets more intense from here.
Yeah, you know what? We say it every year, Lauren, but it's a fluid list, and I'll tell you what, lots of guys are knocking on their door. It's going to be worth watching.
Good luck to all the teams on Selection Sunday. We'll bring you another update next week. State Champs Michigan Extra Point is where high school football fans go to get their news. Premiering Thursdays on the State Champs app and across the network, Extra Point features highlights, analysis, great interviews, and more. Don't forget to listen to the companion audio podcast on Spreaker or wherever you get your podcasts. What's up, Michigan? Coming to you from our places of residence. I'm Lauren Plant, and the man sharing the screen with me is none other than the Hall of Famer, former Canton head coach Tim Beckler. Good to see you, sir.
And you as well.
All right, well, this is another update in the State Champs Anvil Award presented by Hungry Howie's. Unlike Mr. Football, the Anvil Award is looking for the top lineman or linebacker in the state. It is the final week of the regular season, and I'm going to give you the timeline for when we will choose our champion. But first, it's time for another breakdown. Now, we go to the Southeastern Conference Red Division, a very strong division this season, by the way, where we have a future Jayhawk you're talking about this week.
Yeah, James Livingston from Dexter. He's 6'7", 275 pounds, tall. Committed to Kansas. On film, I'll get right to it. Obviously, with his length, great pass blocker, but what I really like about him is he keeps his weight back, he keeps his shoulders back, which is so important not to overextend when pass blocking. Has a good wide base, moves his feet very well. He really wants to hit you, and he wants to put people on their backs. That was kind of shocking to me. They pull him. He works to the second level very well, and he's a dominant run blocker. Very good player.
Now, I just have to say this. I am very disappointed in Dreadnought Nation, as no one has stepped up and voted at all for James. So that needs to change, and it's going to change immediately, all right? Go to our website, statechampsnetwork.com, and cast your vote. Now, next week is the final week for any changes, as we will freeze our top 10. You will then continue to vote for your favorite candidate. We will select our final four the week of the state finals. That means just before Thanksgiving. The leading vote getter will automatically be in, and the selection committee will choose the remaining three based on the criteria found on the voting page at our website, statechampsnetwork.com. So we still have a long way to go. Good luck to all the teams on Selection Sunday. We'll bring you another update next week. Next, to Division II. Warren De La Salle looking to win back-to-back state titles as they went up against Muskegon Mona Shores. First meeting between these schools since the 2014 D2 state championship game. Mona Shores came in averaging over 45 points a game all season, fresh off scoring 49 to beat Midland. Fourth down in their own territory on their first drive, but the De La Salle defense stuffs the Mr. Football candidate Sincere Dent Pilots with the ball in good field position. But the defending state champs De La Salle couldn't capitalize off that opportunity. Senior quarterback Nolan Schultz finding time. His pass picked off by Mona Shores senior defensive back James Gilbert, who returns it near midfield. Then, Mona Shores once again trying to go for it on 4th and 1 on the Pilot 40. Senior linebacker Jacob Dobbs, playing on a torn MCL, stops Caden Broersma from getting the first down. Dobbs, 16 tackles in the game. Pilots would start to get into gear next possession. Schultz hits Josh DeBerry. This senior has Big Ten schools warming up to him. 50-yard gain down to the Sailor 10. The senior Schultz going alone 3 plays later. De La Salle led 7-zip after the opening quarter of play.
Jump to under 2 minutes left in the first half. Mona Shores looking for the equalizer. The junior signal caller, Broersma, scores. We were tied at 7 as we headed into the locker room. 2 minutes into the third quarter, De La Salle would take the lead right back. Schultz was 6 of 7 passing in the second half for 132 yards. Dobbs, what knee injury? Pure adrenaline. 44-yard score. Pilots went into the final quarter leading 14-10. They knew they needed to continue to press. The senior Evan Valancourt gets the carry to the 5-yard line. Schultz found the paint again. That made it 21-10. 7 minutes to go in the game. Sailors not sunk. 4th and 5. Broersma just heaves it up. Delvarius Carter comes down with it. 14-yard score. Shores within 5. For the Pilots, Schultz came into camp 3rd on the quarterback depth chart. Earned the backup spot, then took over in week 5. Never looked back. 2 minutes ago, 3rd and 11 on the Mona Shores 19. Schultz on the keeper. 18-yard gain down to the 1. He'd punch it in for his 3rd rushing score of the game. The Pilots do it again. 3rd state championship in 5 years and 2 in a row. Warren De La Salle defeats Muskegon Mona Shores 29-16.
It's so amazing. I mean, a lot of people said we got lucky last year to win back-to-back state titles. I mean, not many people get to win a state title in their lifetime, let alone play at Ford Field. You did it twice, back-to-back years. I mean, it's just an amazing experience.
Hi, my name is Ryan Alardi, and I'm the new Sports Information Director at Lawrence Tech University. So this is my 4th year in sports information. I think I took a similar route as a lot of my colleagues in the athletic department. I played Division III baseball, I did a little bit of coaching, and then after I got my master's, I got into sports information to stay around the athletic atmosphere and the camaraderie that you get when you work in college athletics.
I think what stood out with Ryan was just a good mesh with our staff. It's kind of that laid-back attitude, but knows his sports information side of everything. I think he was very upfront with us on what his strengths were and his weaknesses, and I think he's just going to fit in really well with our staff. I think that was what really stood out with us.
I'm excited to serve the student athletes here. When you really think about college athletics, these kids are coming for an education, and we wouldn't have jobs in this field if not for them coming to play sports at LTU. So first and foremost, just serving the student athletes and the staff and giving them the best game day experience they can have. And just with how I was treated during the interview process, with Scott being first class and LTU being first class, we want to do that to our opponents as well. We want them to come to a game and walk away and say, hey, LTU did it right. They treated us right. They hosted us right. So we want that student-athlete experience for both our student athletes and the visitors that come and compete on our fields.
So I see Ryan kind of shaping the department to be, so it's not overwhelming for any one person. If we have a GA or 2 GAs and a student staff, it's a little bit easier to manage, especially on days that we have 4 or 5 home games on that day, and another 4 or 5 teams on the road, right? So they have to get the stats from that and do the articles. I think he's going to shape the department the way he wants to shape it, the way that we want it to shape, so no one gets burned out from it. Sports information is a high burnout rate. I think he's got the right mentality. He's got a good balance outside of work that's going to help him stay here for hopefully a long time.
Take your future into your hands. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Jenna Rose with an exciting announcement. State Champs and our parent company, Yellow Flag Productions, are launching a platform that fills a gap in the high school sports coverage and recruiting process. Introducing SCW State Champs Women, the high school sports and recruiting platform designed for the female athlete. While long overdue, women's sports are finally beginning to gain the attention they have always deserved. One example is the 2021 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Ratings were at the highest level in over 7 years. And for the first time, all of the tournament's games were televised nationally. Over the past 20 years, State Champs has always made it a core part of its mission to highlight the achievements of Michigan high school girls teams and student athletes. As we begin our 4th year covering the state of Indiana and our 2nd in the state of Ohio, State Champs is the only outlet that consistently showcases female sports all school year long. Did you know that roughly 84% of sports fans claim to be equally interested in watching women's sports? half of these fans being females themselves. Our viewership numbers prove that. As we dive into this exciting endeavor, SCW is committed to showcasing female high school sports in the tri-state area. While a dedicated offshoot of the State Champs Network website is being developed, the SCW social media channels will soon start filling up with a variety of high school girls sports content. We invite you to follow, like, and subscribe to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube channels. We also want to connect with you on the kind of content you'd like to see presented on SCW, so let us know. State Champs is once again changing the game. State Champs W is here to stay. Enjoy.
You can see the beads of sweat beginning to bubble up on that crown of his. Scott Bernstein, what are you burning on?
You know, I get excited when we're talking about quarterbacks, and the class of 23 has a lot of kids to shout out. Let's start off with two kids that I expect to be getting Division I offers coming by the boatload very soon. Warren De La Salle's Brady Drogosh and River Rouge's Christian Johnson. They're two of the best in the class of 23. They should be playing their football next to a bakery, next to a bank, because they're dropping sugar dimes all over the field, threading needles, finding tight windows. These two check all the boxes when it comes to size, when it comes to field vision, when it comes to composure in the pocket, when it comes to making all the throws at all three levels. Christian Johnson and Brady Drogosh can do it in spades. Move on to Ithaca, Bronson Bupp, continuing the trend of great signal callers to come out of the Yellow Jackets program over at Davison. Braylon Himmeline, who, had some growing pains early on, but has really started to play great football at the quarterback position and is really another one of these signal callers that's surging towards the playoffs. You got the Gladwin gunslinger and Nick Wheeler. I love this kid, a real diamond in the rough out of Gladwin. Water Valete, Tyson Williams is playing some really good quarterback, a dual threat that you should know about. Down in Metro Detroit, you got Ethan Hamby at Dakota, a junior that is really just scratching the surface of what we're going to see from him. I think next year will be a year where he has a breakout senior season. Junior, he's just kind of getting his, feeling his surroundings, and now he's starting to make all the throws after we're getting out of that first half of the season into the second half of the season. Hamby looks really good. And then let's finish off with some real supersonic sleeper specials in the class of 23. Trey Ritchie at Ypsilanti Lincoln is a name that you should know about. He does it with his legs, he does it with his arm, he does it with a high football IQ. Seneca Moore at Holt is having a breakout year. Again, a dual threat that's just electric. And let's finish off with Luke Hall over at Anchor Bay, another Giannone gunslinger that you got to know about. I think just like I was talking about with Hamby and Himmeline, next year should be a big breakout for Luke Hall, but he's playing really well as a junior. Just guys that all have soft touch, all have great command in the pocket, and just playing quarterback the way it needs to be played as you head into the playoffs.
Do you know the biggest difference between a pickup game and organized high school sports? The answer is obvious. It's officials. School sports is more than just kicking a ball or running fast. They're an extension of a student's education and the classroom. An official can help teach the importance of following the rules, impartiality, and most importantly, fairness.
Captain of the football team, correct? Represents leadership and sportsmanship, right? You guys set the good examples for your fellow teammates, okay? All right, we have a problem with one of your fellow teammates, we'll come and ask you to take care of the problem, okay?
But the need for officials has never been greater. There are some benefits to becoming an official, like staying in shape, staying involved in the sports you played as a young person, networking, and of course, you can earn some pretty good extra money while doing all of that. It's easy to sign up. Just go to mhsaa.com/officials and click register now. Now is a great time for you to get involved in your community and give something back to our kids. There's help wanted. We need you to whistle. For more information, visit our website at mhsaa.com.
Hungry Howie's wants to thank you. Yes, you, how long can I stay on this couch guy, super dad who prevented birthday disaster, and the late night study group that ordered 17 pizzas. Thank you to the Holy Moly Did You See That fans. And thank you, Whole Slice and One Bite Kid, because for every pizza sold in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And together we've raised nearly $3 million just by doing what you love. Hungry? Howie's.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
State Champs Game Time Live is presented by Lawrence Technological University. You can recruit yourself at LTUathletics.com. It's also brought to you by Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Hungry Howie's wants to thank you. Yes, you, how long can I stay on this couch guy? Super dad who prevented birthday disaster, and the late night study group that ordered 17 pizzas. Thank you to the Holy Moly Did You See That fans. And thank you, Whole Slice and One Bite Kid, because for every pizza sold in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And together we've raised nearly $3 million just by doing what you love. Hungry? Howie's.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
One of the great football traditions in our state, Selection Sunday, is almost here. And you'll get to see the brackets being revealed live on Bally Sports Detroit. The selection show starts at 5:30 p.m. and will announce first-round matchups for all 8 divisions of 11-player football and the 2 divisions for 8-player football. In 11-player, there will be 8 districts in each of the 8 divisions. First-round games will start on Friday, October the 29th. District champions will face off in regionals on November 12 and 13. Semifinals the week after that, and we wrap it up with our MHSAA finals at Ford Field. All 8 of the 11-player finals will air on Bally Sports Detroit. For our qualifiers in 8-player, 16 teams make it in each division. They too will start on October the 29th. 8-player finals are on November 20th at Northern Michigan University in the Superior Dome. And the Division I 8-player final will be at 11 a.m. with Division II to follow at 2 p.m. As soon as the selection show ends, you'll be able to check out all the brackets right away at MHSAA.com. Please visit us at our website to stay up to date on what should be an exciting football playoff.
Let's go, lead them out, let's go.
Welcome back to Ford Field here for the Catholic League Prep Bowl. It is undefeated Warren de La Salle living up to the billing here in Week 9. They lead U of D Jesuit 35-7 as we are about to kick off the second half of football here in downtown Detroit. Ryan Slocum alongside the coach, Richie Pop. Coach, obviously, you look at that score, 35-7. Everything going De La Salle's way, as it has all season, 7-0 coming into this game. But, Coach, the Cubs did move the ball a little bit, but turnovers are killing them. Couple of picks and that big fumble there at the end.
Well, I'll tell you, some people will ask, what makes a great team? And one of the attributes, in my opinion, is when you turn the ball over and don't give up a score is one side of it. When you get a turnover, you turn it into scores. And we're seeing that out of De La Salle big time today. And we mentioned early on that the game is tough enough as is without giving extra possessions. Blocked punts, interceptions, fumbles. That last one with 36 seconds to go, that's a really tough pill to swallow there.
Yeah, definitely a backbreaker there going into the break. If you're just joining us, we appreciate you doing that here on the State Champs Sports Network. The way this thing started, pretty darn well for the Pilots. Second play from scrimmage, the quarterback, Brady Drogosh, takes it 57 yards to the house for the 7-0 lead. And then after that, went up 14-0. Great response by the Cubs. They had a couple of really, really big plays, and then the touchdown by Chris Matabe.
Yeah, it was a really good job. They had a nice little slant pass to Matabe again. Gets the ball downfield just outside the 10, around the 14-yard line, and then he runs a great corner route up inside the corner, outside the safety. Nate puts it right in his hands. It's a 14-7 game, and then they turned the ball over on the positive side of the 50, just couldn't get it going at that point, and De La Salle just started rolling downhill.
Yeah, and they came up with some big plays. A halfback pass for a touchdown. Rhett Rozier hitting Jack Janacek for a huge score down the sideline to make it 21-7, and then Brady with a 29-yard touchdown. He's got 3 TDs on the ground so far today. He as well living up to the billing as a kid who's going to be playing D1 football as that dual threat quarterback. At the next level, he's going to be a star, as he already is. And guess what? Only a junior, Coach.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. Boy, the Catholic League is saying, are you just kidding me? They've got a sophomore running back who's phenomenal, big, strong. They've got a QB who makes great decisions, can throw the ball. But, man, his legs are really hurting him today. The QB power, they fake the running back, whichever one's in there. He takes it up behind either an H or a guard, and they get going down the field, and he can motor. As you mentioned, 3 rushing touchdowns today already.
There you see the De La Salle Pilots ready to kick it off to start the third quarter. Ball's going into the end zone numerous times today. On the kick, they will kick to the Cubs. And, Coach, what would your message be, or what do you believe it was, to the Cubs as they get the ball first here in the third?
I'm sure the coaches said, listen, we get the football. Let's get a score and see what happens from there. Just get a score. Have positive plays. Ball's going to go in the end zone. We're going to have to go 80 yards. Let's go 80 yards and score and see how this game turns out.
Cody Cummings. Kick goes into the end zone one more time, so it will be the Cubs starting at their own 20. As we mentioned, the big guy so far for them, Chris Matabe, had a pretty good game so far. And he is the one that caught the touchdown, a 14-yard touch to make it a 14-7 game, but it was all De La Salle from there. And the Cubbies now going to try to cut into this one as we begin the third. Glad you could join us here on the State Champs Sports Network. First play of scrimmage from Ford Field here in the third. And they swing it out. Pass incomplete. Trying to hit Austin Enox out there in the flat.
And you can see what the Cubs are trying to do is single up Matabe on one side by putting 3 receivers on the other. But what De La Salle is, they just man up the outside, number 1 to the 3 receiver side and play cover 2. That way they still get someone on top of Matabe on the other side. Like the play call here, though, again, get an athlete in space with the block, see if they can make something happen. Just couldn't get the connection there.
The running back, number 6, Nick Johnson. We told you about him. He is a track and field All-American. He can make some plays here. Had 3 touchdowns against Loyola earlier this season. There he is, Brown trying to hit him. But once again, that pass incomplete.
And you can see Nate is falling off the back foot here. He's just trying to make this play. But again, pressure up in face, falling back away, which just takes a little bit of accuracy off that ball and just short on the throw to Nick. Again, I like the idea of getting your athlete in space. They've got to make that connection to make positive plays happen.
And that was Rozier getting in there, getting pressure on the quarterback. Now the Cubs facing 3rd and long. They need to get to the 30. They've been in this position numerous times today. They have converted a couple of times today. Let's see if they can do it. Matebe has been their man on 3rd down. Number 23, let's see if they go to him. And we have a flag.
Little illegal procedure here on the Cubs. It's going to send them back 5. And penalties hurt them in the first half as well. Again, when you're playing against really any football team, but in particular a good one, you can't ever go backwards because it's really tough to make up that yardage.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-inflicted issues have been an issue here today for the Cubs. And you can't do that when you're going against the top team in Michigan in Division II. Now 3rd and 15. Brown in trouble, and he is brought down. Great tackle there. James Milkey III with the sack.
And again, you're going to see outside pressure, so it forces Nate to push up, and the inside pressure just staying level, not running past the quarterback. So when he pushes up, he's right in your face, causes a 4th down and long, and the Cubs are going to have to punt here.
Andrew Jazakaitis in there as well. So once again, like on the first possession, Mr. Xavier Chow in his own end zone to kick it away. First time he punted, it was blocked in the end zone and picked up for a De La Salle touchdown. This time he gets it away. Takes a good bounce, gets across the 50, and that is where the Pilots will take over at the 46 as they touch the ball for the first time here in the 3rd.
And I think those last 2 punts that we've seen out of Chow have been, hey, listen, we're not kicking the ball deep because that young man can really run the ball back. So get it away from him. It might not be quite as deep, but we need to make sure that we're not having him return that ball because I'll tell you what, he took that first one, Mr. Sutton, all the way inside the 10-yard line. They can't afford to have that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharon Sutton returning that thing about 50 yards, maybe even more down inside the 10. To set the Pilots up. So here they go. On 1st down. Drogosh looking long. Got a man down the middle, and he hits him in stride. Touchdown, De La Salle, Tristan Nichols.
Boy, the use of the run game here again to set up. When you do run play action here, what you do is you hold the defensive line from really rushing up the field. And you can see they come really late, but he had a long time. His receiver runs down the field 45 yards before he throws that ball. And that says the O-line is doing a phenomenal job. And then the ball right on the money. And that is Mr. Big Play Nichols, who's had several today, and there's another one.
My gosh. The explosion plays, we mentioned it from the second play from scrimmage, and that has been darn near every single one of their touchdowns. This one comes from 54 yards as the kick is up and through to make it 42-7. This one from 54 yards, 57 yards, 60 yards there on the halfback pass, 29 yards run by the quarterback as well, Brady Drogosh. Man, when these guys hit, they hit hard.
Yeah, and it's tough because we haven't even included a couple. Remember, they threw the ball 5 yards down the field. He went 55 and got inside the 10.
Right.
Did Nichols earlier. So there have been some explosion plays that maybe didn't result in touchdown, but they're huge plays. Block punt in the end zone. Again, explosive, even though it was a block punt. You don't see it explosive, but dynamic plays against you are really tough. And, boy, De La Salle has stacked them up today.
Yep. Taking on UD Jesuit for the second time in a couple of weeks. They pounded them in the first meeting as well. That game was 44-7. This one, 42-7 here in the 3rd. After just one play, the opening play from scrimmage here in the second half. So once again, Cummings going to kick it away. Another big boot, and they just watch it bounce through the end zone. Putting the Cubbies back on the 20. Coach as I believe we will now have a running clock. The high school rule, 35 points in the second half. You get a running clock, as you can see down there, now down to 10:40.
Yeah, it's always a tough situation to be in. And, you know, on again, two sides of the coin. As a coach, you want as much time to get as many plays, get some experience. You know, the Cubs are young. He wants as many plays as possible. On the other side, you look at it and say, hey, listen, it's one of those situations where we have to move the game along if we can. Doesn't mean the Cubs can't come back and score and stop that running clock. But as 35 points is quite a hefty load to carry, I think it's a good rule.
Brown throws, got a man out there, still on his feet, close to that first down line. And I believe they're going to give it to him right there at the 30. It's Enox.
Well, I like this. They're using the number 2 receiver, second from the outside, running him on the slant inside that backer. And before he gets to safety, puts the ball right on him. Nice play, first down and 10.
We've seen them work that slant a couple of times, and it has worked. Big pickups every single time. Let's see if they keep going back to that. They need to pick up yards in chunks now, obviously. Down 42-7 with the clock running in the third.
You know, the employment of the quick pass game means that the O-line doesn't have to hold blocks for a really long time. Quarterback catches it, quick step, gets set, survey the field, and bang it home.
On first down, handed up the middle, hit immediately by a host of white shirts. Great job there on D. Once again, double M, Mason Murrigan. And he had a couple of buddies there with him.
Yeah, Milky's right there with him. And again, this is, to me, probably the biggest issue today to overcome is they just have not been getting anything out of the run game, and that is really tough. Everybody knows who knows the game. This game is won inside the trenches where the big fellas play, where the real football goes on, if you will. And it's been tough sledding for the Cubs today because De La Salle is quite staunch on the defensive side.
Yeah, they may even have negative yards on the ground. And right there, case in point, huge hit. The second he touches the ball, Andrew Jazakaitis in there making the stop.
Boy, there's a lot of people with old-time football in their blood, and they love this. He just comes right from that backer position, or actually coming in from the one technique, face mask right in the chest and bringing him down. They love to see that. Good old-fashioned football right there. And again, just indicative of how they play football at De La Salle. Great job right there.
Makes it 3rd and 12. Ball now on the 28-yard line. The Cubbies got to get to the 40 after a couple of hits in the backfield, trying to run that rock, which they have not been able to do today. Nate Brown's got his work cut out for him here with 12 to go. He's got time this time, plenty of time actually, and he is looking way down the field. Has a man down there, and it is going to be incomplete. Great defense there, broken up by Javon Williams.
And again, it's just discipline. You know, even after this long of a time not getting to the quarterback, you could see they thought maybe on the D-line it was a screen because it looked funny, it was so long. But the discipline, there's 2 defenders on this one receiver right there. And good job by De La Salle getting back there. Nate, I'm sure feeling some frustration, trying to make something big happen. Just comes up a little short there.
Yeah, he almost went up and over and got it that time too.
Yep, give my guy a shot.
Instead, it will be 4th. And out comes Xavier Chow. Got a man running out here late. He gets in there in time. So Mr. Chow with yet another punt. And it's another pretty good one. Fair catch called, falling to the turf.
Very smart decision by Mr. Sutton there. Ball's way up in the air. Just catch the football on the 40-yard line. Great field position to start, especially with the explosive offense De La Salle has. Coming out for series number 2.
So, Coach, what do you tell your guys here? You're up 42-7. You got this game in hand. You're looking to the future here. What are you telling your boys as they are about to embark here on hopefully a long playoff trip for De La Salle?
Well, let's do things right. Ball security. We're going to run the rock here a little bit and make sure they're making plays. We're not giving them. And as soon as I say that, little play action. He drops the football. thought for sure they'd just run the rock, work on that part of their game. But Coach says, look, we're going to use all of our game. This is what we have to get prepared to beat good teams here in the future, so let's practice it. And that's what they go to. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Tristan, who caught the 54-yard touchdown there on the first play last drive, drops this one. But, Coach, we were talking before the game. They only threw the ball 4 times last week, so maybe that is why they are still throwing the ball, because they said that is something they need to get better heading into these playoffs.
Yeah, and Coach was absolutely adamant about that. It's, we're going to take what we did well. We want to stay doing that well. But, man, if we made some mistakes or we need to get better in an area, we need to work it. So I could see them working that in-game situation so it is live, like you're repping to get someone and getting ready, like you said, for that long run. And they're hoping in 5 games to be right back here.
Absolutely. We are under 5 minutes to play in the third. Brady Drogosh, another incredible game, running the rock. 3 touchdowns on the ground for him. Just had the big one through the air. This time he slings it out. It is brought in by number 22. That's Jack Janacek, who had a big touchdown catch of his own.
Yeah, even with that short gain, he's still about a 42-yard reception average or so, something like that, because of the big play earlier. But again, I think you're right, is getting some touches out of receivers who haven't had the ball today and just staying in that rhythm.
And here we go now, Coach, on 4th down. It's going to be 4th and a little less than 2. Yard to get to is the 50. Deciding to go for it on 4th. Up 42-7. Yeah, they want to work on that offense a little bit more. Quarterback going to keep it himself. Same play we saw on a touchdown earlier today, and the same result. He's going to take it all the way. Touchdown, De La Salle, Brady Drogosh.
And again, as is always talked about, O-line starts this off with great outside zone protection. But you can see number 2, Denario Johnson, comes up and lights up the outside backer, and around the corner goes Brady. Great downfield block, staying on the chest of the defender. On a late block there, I didn't catch the number. Touchdown, De La Salle. Up 48, going for 49 in the extra point.
Yeah, same exact design that we saw there on the 2-yard touchdown right before the half. As the kick goes up and it goes through to make it 49-7. Same exact thing we saw before, Coach. He only needed 2 yards that time, but he may be able to get 52. He was that far open there right before the break.
Yeah, and Featherstone at that left tackle does a great job again of hooking that end, meaning he gets him pinned inside, so it opens up the outside, and then Johnson does a phenomenal job getting on the backer who would be scooping outside, and then downfield on finally the safety is the wide receiver. And Brady says, okay, I'll take another one for number 4 today.
State Champs is located on the campus of Lawrence Technological University. They offer over 20 varsity sports, including football. You can recruit yourself at ltuathletics.com. Now, if you're not familiar with the game as much, the clock does stop after the score. We told you a few minutes ago, wait a minute, it's running clock. No, it does stop after the score, so that's why we are stuck here at 3:52 as De La Salle goes to kick it off once again. Coach, would you expect to see Mr. Brady and the fellas out here again today?
Well, I would like him to get a couple other, keep your guys healthy. You're going to open up next week with a playoff game. Get some of your other players in there for some experience is always a good idea. We'll see what Coach decides to do. I am certainly not second-guessing because they know making all the right decisions today. So I'll leave it up to them to see what they're going to do.
We also want to let you know that Hungry Howie's is a great partner of the State Champs Network. Mr. Football and the Anvil Awards. You can vote for your candidates at statechampsnetwork.com. And while you're surfing the web, order the best flavored crust pizza at hungryhowies.com. How about some of these names, Coach, for the Anvil Award? Man, we got some good ones, and we got some big-time colleges on there. Notre Dame, Central Michigan, Michigan State.
Absolutely love seeing the big fellows getting rewarded because they're not people who necessarily get stats that you can look at and say, oh, touchdowns this and yards that. And they're measured in pancakes and big-time blow-up hits.
Absolutely. Austin Enochs there. First time we've seen this. Little play action pass. Great strike over the middle here.
And again, even though they haven't had success in the run game, because De La Salle is very disciplined, go ahead and use that fact against them. Pop that run in there. Get the defensive linebackers to come up the field a little bit. Create a void behind them. Hit that ball in there. Again, work in that middle of the field. Nice job. Great completion right there. First down and 10.
You said they're paid in pancakes. I think here they're paid in flavored crust, Coach, is what they're actually paid in, as we are under 3 to go.
Absolutely.
Here on first down, slings it to the outside. Ball probably should have been brought in there by Sean Smith, in and out of the hands.
Yep, Sean knows he should have had that one. He's just going to turn his head up the field a little bit, want to get some yards after the catch, but we have to have a catch first before we get yards after it, young man. Again, learning experience.
Maybe just a case of, we mentioned at the top, maybe trying to do too much. You know you're in a hole. You know you need to make a play for your team, and maybe you're just trying a little too hard there.
Yep, that's a great call, Ryan. Very good point right there, and I'm sure that's what I want to get this ball downfield, get us a score. Just forgot that football.
Yep, trying to help your team out in a big hole here. They do hand it off, and for the first time, they get a little room. Great run by 21, DeJuan Hughes.
Absolutely best run play so far for the Cubs today. Does a nice job. He's patient, reads his blocks. Great job staying on the block right there. And then a little bit of a yards after contact. Good first down run. Cubs are on the move.
Absolutely. Mr. Hughes touching the ball for the first time today. And he does some good work getting that ball to the 44-yard line. 2 straight first downs here for the Cubs. There is no quitting them.
Absolutely not. You will not see that for sure, and it's a good thing because that's part of character, and it's always worked on by coaches is character.
From the 44, they hand it off again. Mr. Hughes getting rewarded. Stays on his feet, bounced around a little bit, but then he took a shot at the 45.
Oh, he sure did. He's just a little bit too much happy feet. Good thing they got this. A little trouble with the exchange there. Good job by Hughes securing that. Again, getting up the field, and then boom. 36 comes in and lays the load, Peyton Babich.
Yeah, he did a great job. Shoulder tackle there to bring him down. I like what Hughes is doing in there, though.
Yeah, a couple times he touches the ball, positive yards first. I think if he gets a little cleaner handoff there, he probably has some more. You know, by then the defense is converging. So keep running him.
He's out there again. Going over the middle again. Same play as we saw before. Enochs brings it in. Great job to get the ball across the 40 on the opposite side of the field.
Absolutely. Again, use that run game, hold up that defensive line, pop that ball in the open field where the linebackers are making a void and in front of the safeties. Really nice throw by Nate. Way to secure that football, get upfield, 1st and 10.
And that will be the final play here in the third. It's De La Salle on top, 49-7 here at the Catholic League Prep Bowl. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes of action right after this.
Hungry Howie's wants to thank you. Yes, you, how long can I stay on this couch guy? Super dad who prevented birthday disaster. And the late night study group that ordered 17 pizzas. Thank you to the Holy Moly Did You See That fans. And thank you, Whole Slice and One Bite Kid. Because for every pizza sold in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And together we've raised nearly $3 million just by doing what you love. Hungry? Howie's.
We view technology a little differently at Lawrence Tech's College of Architecture and Design. We believe it makes lives better, more beautiful, that it enables people to connect and empowers them to create. We see technology as a reflection of people at their best, and that it should be designed to make us more human, not less. Come redefine technology with us at LTU's College of Architecture and Design.
All right, and welcome back to Ford Field for the final quarter here in the Catholic League Prep Bowl. The top team in Division II on top right now, big time, 49-7 over UD Jesuit. But the Cubbies moving the ball fairly well on this drive. Although they are stopped here on first down.
Yeah, a couple of good runs have helped that little play-action pass game they used earlier, trying to get Nick, just trying to pop him in, but you can see that wall and making him bounce to guys who are not blocked. And what that causes is either losses or zero gains almost every time. Just tough sledding in that run game. Let's go back to that play action over that open middle.
Yeah, that's worked a couple of times for big chunk plays. Once again, Peyton Babbage in there, making the tackle. It is now 2nd and 12. Ball on the 41. Cubs trying to find the paint for just the second time today. Brown got tons of room. He decides to tuck and run. Good decision. He's going to be close to that first down, though. Couple of yards short after getting brought down by Salvatore Agruza.
Really good job by here. Nate's looking at the corner route, and his receiver got pushed down by the linebacker, which is completely legal. The ball's not in the air. Hey, take off and run to the open side of the field, make it a positive play. 3rd down and 2, very manageable.
And we've seen him a couple of times today, Coach. One of the first plays of the game, he tucked and run, and he does a good job with that.
Yeah, he makes smart decisions. He's a good athlete. You know, he runs to the sideline where it's usually safe. You can see his hobbled a little bit there as the big fella kind of jumped on his back, Salvatore, and brought him down. Again, completely clean. It's just sometimes when you land funny, it's tough.
Yeah, wrapped him up, kind of folded him up a little bit. But Nate Brown, good quarterback. He's got offers from Saginaw Valley State. He's got offers from Butler. And this time he offers the ball to his back. That's Hughes once again, and he's going to pick up another first down.
Boy, and sometimes it's hard to explain why one running back finds some, space to get positive yards and another one will not. But it's just tough, and he's doing a good job, Hughes, of finding some open space to run. And then again, there's 54 again, Salvatore Agruza making a play from that linebacker spot.
9:40 to play in this one. De La Salle with the comfortable lead. But the Cubbies doing a good job here on this possession, marching down the field.
And the coaching staff is saying, hey, let's just have something positive happen. And boy, Mr. Hughes is doing a heck of a job finding space again. Really nice little jump cut, getting to the outside where there's some open space. Good run on first down. It's 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, he took a hit here at the end, but man, great job. Like the change of direction for him. He's got good hips. And look at that, popping up from the safety position. Knocked his own guy back a little bit. He hit him so hard.
Oh, yeah, friendly fire can happen in this game. I'll tell you that. They come flying from that safety spot, and they, whatever's in their way is getting hit, and you can see it right there.
Mason Collins getting in there. But it will be 2nd and short. 2 to go here at the 19-yard line. And they go back to DeJuan. And he once again moves those sticks. Great job here by DeJuan Hughes.
Very impressed with this young man. He is doing a great job. First of following his blockers. That's always a good way to go, is follow the guys who are leading the way and then find a little crease. And it's 1st and 10. Ball simply on the 17-yard line. UOD's got something positive going, and that's what they want to do. Is this might be their last game of the season. Let's finish on a positive note.
And they are doing that on this drive. I like his patience, Coach, as well. Waits for that hole to open up, and then he tries to explode through it.
Love it.
On first down, little fumble. Ball is picked up by Brown, and he is taken down right at about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going play action here. You can see it. He just rides the hip of the running back and pops it off his hip a little bit. This is always on the quarterback. As much as we think that fake is so important, if you just look like you're running the ball, you're going to hold the defensive line and linebackers because they're watching what the offensive line's doing. They're not looking at the back per se or the quarterback. So just make sure that you look like you're doing that, but secure that football, Nate, and you get a clean throw out of that.
And that is probably the problem in the RPO game with these younger kids where they're waiting. That would probably happen more times than not at the next level. Here we go on 2nd down. Fired over the middle. Touchdown. Chris Matabe, his 2nd of the day.
Boy, great job here. And again, you notice Chris doing a great job, Matabe, of using those hands. Starts, though, in the middle. No one is in the QB's face. He gets some time to survey, snap off a good throw, right over in that, again, open space in that cover 2 where the safeties are split. Pulls that ball in quickly. A lot of lessons there. Hands catch, tuck it quickly because that defender was right behind him to slap it out. Great job by U of D right there on that drive.
I'll tell you what, somebody is going to get one heck of a player here from the 6'5 senior. He as well has a couple of offers, Youngstown State, Butler as well. But man, he has got good size. He's a great athlete. Maybe just as good of a basketball player, Coach. Somebody's going to get a hidden gem here.
Yeah, Josh Shenagogo over at Youngstown State is that offensive recruiting guy, and he just loves them. You can't find those 6'5 guys who always can run like these guys. And again, use their hands. You get a lot of body catchers, and this kid uses his hands, and he loves that about him. He was in town, and we were talking the other day, and he's just hoping he'll choose. And like you said, multi-sport athlete, boy, you'd love to see that.
And he's doing it against the #1 team in the country right now, really showing out here at Ford Field. And I tell you what, he's only about 190 at 6'5". He's going to fill out a little bit too.
Oh, absolutely. He goes to the next level. He's going to put on, 20, 25 pounds, depending on what they feel he can handle and what he moves well with. Stay flexible, and that's going to help him. There was a guy here who was somewhere around 6'3 to 6'4 who had that kind of body and did pretty well.
I think he was actually even 6'5". Yes, he was, and he used to fight Optimus Prime all the time. I believe is the guy you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Another ball through the end zone here, this time by the Cubs. And De La Salle will take over at the 20-yard line. Let's see what they do on offense. If we have the starters out there, I believe they'll probably pull them. I would suspect, Coach.
This would be the drive, and it looks like they do have some kids in there. It's a good decision. Get them a little bit of experience. Even just taking snaps and making blocks and runs is all you want out of them, but it's experience. Because in this game, you're one play away from the next guy having to go in.
And there is the next guy, Jack Hall, number 10, taking the snaps. And he hands it off. This is Colin DeHunt.
So a good decision.
His first carry.
Good decision by the staff here, Get Jackson. You hope nobody gets hurt, but, man, this is just that game. I believe he really wanted to pull that football. He's in control of that because you teach your running back, you're getting the ball. It's up to the quarterback if he wants to keep it. And I think Mr. Hall wanted to pull that one.
And that's exactly what we talked about on the last possession, especially with a quarterback who is the backup. Not used to this maybe as much. This time they hand it off on the sweep, and they got this sucker read like a book. Great tackle out there by Jazir Rahman.
And you could see number 43 is getting this ball, and he just wants to get outside. George Garrity wants to get outside. He'll learn to cut that up to get some positive yards as he grows older. That's another reason you get them on for game experience, because that's when you learn, is when you play.
So it will now be 3rd down and 12. Pilots needing to get to that 30. They launch it up in the air. Man open down there, but just overshot him, out of bounds. So De La Salle will have to boot her away with 5:05 now to play.
Absolutely, you can see Mr. Hall is just super excited to be able to throw this ball and just go. It's a little bit too far down the sideline. Like his motion, throws a nice ball, turns that nose over, just a little bit too far outside for his man to have a chance.
And our punter out there now, Michael Bucci. He's at his own 5. He'll get a chance to boot this one as the clock is still rolling.
First punt.
You know what, Coach? I'm not sure if it is or not. They've gone for it a couple times here on 4th down. This is a good one. And there she rolls down to around the 40, where the Cubs will try to tack one more on here just for good measure. They can feel good going into the offseason. Or perhaps if they do get to continue to play on this year, the playoffs are completely different. It now goes back to the old system. Back in the day, no more 6 wins. It's all about those playoff points getting in. And we are going to see, Coach, a number of teams across the state, 4 and 5, even some 3 and 6 teams getting into the playoffs.
Well, they're rewarding schools who are playing good competition. I was looking through a couple of the, there's obviously some projections, and there are some teams who have better records but have fewer points than some teams are going to play. And it's one of those situations where they're, again, rewarding those teams for playing tough competition.
So here we go on first down. Got a new quarterback in there as well for the Cubs. And nowhere to go on first down. We want to let you know that you can be a referee. In fact, we need you to get out there and be a ref now more than ever. Nationally, there is a shortage of people willing to work these kids' games. And they are just kids' games. So if you love sports, you love the kids, register today at mhsaa.com.
Anwar Carter at QB, and he is the heir apparent, if you will, to Nate Brown as he's going to move on to the next level. And they're going to get some Anwar some reps here. Good decision.
There he is, number 25, handing it off. Once again, that D-line not allowing the Cubs to move the ball at all.
And you've got some not starters in there in that defensive side, and they are still coming after it. These kids, they work all week just like the starters. They practice. As a matter of fact, these guys probably go against the offense a lot. They want an opportunity to play as well, so they're going to play as hard as they can. And you could see it right there swarming the running back for a little bit of a loss.
Tyler Cooper making first contact before the rest of the white shirts came over.
See if they give Anwar an opportunity to throw the ball down the field here.
He's got 2 receivers to the top. That's where he's looking. Has a man out there, just overshoots him. But once again, Coach, you being the quarterback guru, got to like that throw.
Yeah, he worked with Anwar, very fortunate, great kid. Again, just as we saw in Mr. Hall, just a little antsy. If he holds just a little bit longer, might have an opportunity to get his guy down the field. I don't blame him, though. He's in for some game time opportunity. He's going to take advantage of it and sling that rock.
Dakari Gilkey was the intended receiver down there. Just overshot him by a couple of yards, but that was a nice-looking ball there for Anwar.
Yeah, he's got a good-looking motion.
So it's going to be 4th and 12. Of course, the Cubs will go for it with the running clock now at $1:15 to play in this Prep Bowl. If you weren't with us at the beginning, Bishop Foley, winner of the first game, the Cardinal championship game, as Anwar unloads it. Had a man out there and just misses him.
And again, just a little quick on the trigger. Could have put that in his chest.
State Champs Extra Point is where high school football fans go to get their news. Premiering Thursdays on the State Champs app and across the network. Extra Point features highlights, analysis, great interviews, and a whole lot more. And also, don't forget to listen to the companion audio podcast that is on Spreaker or wherever you get your podcasts. Clock running down here. Now at about 20 seconds to go. And the Pilots just going to let this one roll. De La Salle, the 3-time Division II state champions, are going to be winners here of the Prep Bowl and Catholic League champs once again. There's the quarterback. That's Jack keeping it himself. Jack Hall taking it down across the 25-yard line, and that will do it. The Pilots of Warren De La Salle complete a perfect regular season at 8-0. They knock off UOD Jesuit once again, this time by the final score of 49-14. Coach, in Division II, people have been saying it for a few weeks now. This team is going to be tough to beat.
Well, they're a complete football team. They're obviously very explosive on offense with great athletes on the edge, a strong running game, really highlighted by the QB power as a strong run. And boy, can Brady run, and he can sling it. So that's the offensive side. Defensively, they got a great front seven who really is a gap sound team. They build that wall, make the runner bounce to open people who are not blocked, and they make secure tackles. And on the back end, they're covering people in that zone because people are always, and then there's no yards after catch. They might get a 9-yard throw, but it's a 9-yard play. And then finally, the special teams with a block punt today, a very good punt game, a kicker who puts the ball in the end zone. I'll tell you what, when you're strong in 3 phases of the game, people talk about you as possibly the next state champ.
Yeah, they are the top-ranked team in Division II here in our state champs top 25 rankings. They currently sit 4th overall. That is all divisions. They sit 4th. Do you see any team in Division II that's going to be their biggest maybe adversary? A lot of teams right from the beginning of the season as well talking about Traverse City Central.
Well, I think that's one, and if you look at how probably the brackets will shape out, that could absolutely be a matchup here in 4 or 5 weeks, right at the end of after Thanksgiving, that we could see Traverse City playing extremely well and obviously built for the weather they're going to play in the outside out there, which is something people forget about. But so is De La Salle because of a strong run game and a strong special team. They might not be able to throw the ball around, but you know what? That's not going to hurt them. They're going to get balls set up by the special teams, and they're going to make a run game, obviously, every week. So that could be something we see, and boy, would that be a whale of a ball game.
Absolutely. It very well could happen. People have been talking about that for weeks and weeks now, as we are going to see the Prep Bowl trophies here handed out to each team as they are lined up on each side of the field. What an incredible game, Coach, for the quarterback. We talked about him right from the outset. Second play from scrimmage, Brady Drogosh goes 57 yards for the touchdown. And, man, then he had a 52-yard touchdown in there, a 29-yard touchdown in there. And he can also throw the ball. When you got a kid like that, Coach, at this level that can explode through the air and on the ground, how do you stop that?
Well, first of all, it sure makes it fun when you're the offensive coordinator because you got either way to go. And then defensively, and you saw U of D had glimpses of it when they stayed home and paid attention to their offensive line keys, they made plays. When they went either with the back or got themselves out of position, that's when Brady exploited that for those explosive plays. On the back end, you saw a couple times, they had some guys running free, but man, they missed some tackles. Can't give up those yards after catch to great runners, and they've got some at De La Salle.
Well, De La Salle, 10-9 in title games coming in, make it 11-9. They are the champions here at the Prep Bowl at Ford Field. Just incredible tradition. We told you about it earlier. You had the CYO kids out here starting at 7:45 in the morning, getting to run around on Ford Field. A couple of those teams, we made a joke about it. They can say they've won more games than the Lions have here at Ford Field. Just incredible. And they can take that with them the rest of their lives.
And just to be clear here, it's really not a joke, Ryan, but it's tough to take. And you're 100% right, though. They have winning records here at Ford Field, as do many Catholic League teams because they play here often, and in the years, and then the state championships that have been won here. I know St. Mary's, Brother Rice, Catholic Central, De La Salle, they've all won them here. So a great job again by the whole staff and the whole, really, it's a community. Coach talked about that. The parents buy in, which means the kids buy in because it's important and they've got their kids involved in something real positive, and you can see the results of that.
Just incredible tradition going back to 1926. Then they moved to the Silver Dome in the 70s, and now here at Ford Field. Great job by the De La Salle Pilots. What do you think Coach is telling them right now?
Hey, guys, this is what we did today and improved upon the last time we played. Because he talked about it. That's what they're going to talk about. So that's what they're doing right there. And you know what? He's going to do the same thing for next week.
Well, we appreciate you joining us here on the State Champs Sports Network today and all season long. It's been a heck of a ride, and we are just getting started. The playoffs begin next week. Thank you for joining us. For Coach Richie Pop, I'm Ryan Slocum. We'll see you next time. De La Salle, #1 in the state and #1 here in the Prep Bowl. State Champs Game Time Live is presented by Lawrence Technological University. You can recruit yourself at ltuathletics.com. It's also brought to you by Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.